Oh boy, oh boy.
Talk tickers, tick-tocking.
Tick-tocking on the clock like the party don't stop. Oh.
Who's in here? Who's in
whoa,
here?
oh.
Nice. Lucas is in here.
Oh. Lucas. What's up, Lucas? How you doing? We're about to record.
We are. This is the pre-podcast production.
Pussy.
You took it out of my mouth. You took the pussy out of my mouth.
I'm glad this won't be in the actual podcast.
It's recorded. You never know.
Shit. All right, we got video, right?
Yeah,
Do you have
videos.
the audio?
It's both recorded. Everything's recording. TikTok, audio, and video are recorded.
Do you have the audio turned off for Streamlabs or on?
For the mics?
Yeah, it's off, isn't it?
It's on.
Is
Because you
it?
said you
It doesn't look like it's on.
It was on. Maybe I was still.
I mean, I could be wrong.
No. Because I was still on the streaming.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what I saw.
I think it says mic aux, yeah. Just toss that on. It's a little bit easier for video editing purposes. But, so maybe the beginning part won't be in it. But no, I could still line it up if I wanted to. But,
fast forward, it's not on there at all.
I would not be surprised at all, man. But, yeah, it's been yet another week.
It has.
In the lives of your boys. There's been some new. We got that Patreon up and running.
Yes, we are on Patreon now.
We'll give our thanks at the end of the podcast.
Yes.
Like we said, that is the people who have subscribed so far. Thank you. We'll give you more specific thanks at the end because that's one of the tiers where we thank you and make you an end credit scene in the actual podcast. God,
You'll be a Marvel end credit scene.
Yeah, right. It's not the post credit scene though. You get the mid credit scene of the people that we appreciate, you guys.
Yeah, man.
But what is it? We appreciate y'all over on TikTok. Someone said that. Neat. Thanks for appreciating us, y'all.
Thanks for appreciating us.
I can't see usernames well.
Lucas.
Oh, it was Lucas still? Gotcha. Mm-hmm. But yeah, man, it's a time to say the least. Things are changing. Things are happening. Not to get too specific because we're not allowed to do that anymore.
I mean. All right, the word specific. Okay, yes, too specific.
Yeah, we can't get too specific because people don't have closed mouths.
Close y'all's mouths.
Yes, but I can talk about one thing that is interesting, at least from my point of view, which won't affect anything else. I got a cool call happening this week on Wednesday from an old professor of mine. And I'm really looking forward to it, getting back in contact with him. Mm-hmm. He did that thing on LinkedIn. I was telling Lucas about it, ironically. You know, like when you put on your LinkedIn, I know how to do this stuff. And it's like 80% of whatever. You can go in as another person and be like, yep, he does, or whatever. And he did it for like a shit ton of mine. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's a lot of notifications.
Vouch for you. That's what's up. That's what you need.
So I was like, okay, cool. So I messaged him because I'm like, I'm that guy. I'm not gonna like just let you do that and then say nothing.
Right.
So I hop in the DMs and I'm like, yo, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. Blah blah blah. XYZ LMNOP. And he's like, yo, no problem at all. I very much like miss hanging out with y'all in class and blah blah blah. He's like, how's your 3D work going? And I'm like, it is. It's going. It's going as far as you know. I mean, to be fair, like, I'm definitely working on 3D stuff. It's just slowed down because of this, and then also work in general is exhausting itself, so obviously it's not going to be at the same level of pumping stuff out. But I was like, yeah, this is what's going on. They removed my Maya license, so I had to start learning Blender, which is not a lie. I haven't worked in Blender in maybe 3 months, though, but...
All right, for people who don't know me, what is Maya and Blender? So
Maya is the like industry standard 3D software that you'll see on like any of the behind the scenes shit for like a Pixar movie, DreamWorks, stuff like that, where they animate the stuff, they model the stuff, they texture it all in there pretty much. And that's like where the stuff's made. where the goose is fried.
Gotta love a fried goose.
Sure. I don't know words, but pretty much that's where everything is like worked on, and you need a license in order to operate it, like the Adobe Creative Suite or something like that, and it's expensive. So I had the student version for a while. Pretty much what ended up happening was not a student for a while, and they were like, "Hey, fuck you," and then took away my license. So then I was like,
of them to say that.
It was a subtle fuck you, and
it's an email with all caps, huge font. Fuck you.
Fucketh you, but
by company,
by a Autodesk. But yeah, pretty much they took that away, which is it makes sense. I'm not mad about it. Like, right. Yes, I'm not a student, so obviously. So I got their indie license of it recently, but in the interim, I didn't want to spend $200 on a yearly license, so I picked up Blender, which Blender is the free online open source software that is pretty much the equivalent to Maya, but anyone can learn it. The best part about it is that all of the learning for Blender and stuff is all on YouTube. Like, people that are creators that specifically go for that, like, if you've ever at all looked into ever trying 3D, there's always the same tutorial that pops up with the pink frosted donut. And it's like, that's the starter tutorial. Yeah. And like, you start with that and like, you learn like some basics of like, not really modeling, but you know,
that's smart.
Here's some stuff that you can do. And then like, you learn a little bit of basics about texturing and then rendering. And then it moves you on to like higher grade shit. You can do the same thing in every program. It's just that this one is free. So, you know, that's pretty nice.
The price is right.
Exactly. So I learned from that a little bit. It's pretty much the same thing as Maya. I know what I'm doing in it, and if I don't, then I can figure it out almost 20 minutes into a rabbit hole, and then I know how to do what I want to do now.
Got you.
So that's a thing. So I was talking to the dude, telling him that pretty much, and he's like, sweet, would you be interested in working in VR? And I'm like, well, I'm interested in working.
It's funny you should say that.
It's funny you should say anything about work in this specific industry that I've been trying to get into since I've left college. Yes, I very much am trying to do that. So pretty much have a call with him on Wednesday, learning about some stuff, maybe some opportunity on the side while doing the 95 at the same time, and this obviously. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Other than that, yeah, man, I'm getting my booster this Friday too.
Word.
So that's a thing.
Doing the thing.
Yeah. I'm apparently getting it through, or I don't know how.
Oh, because I know how.
Yeah. I guess maybe you don't want to put the company name in. Through Dad's company, if you want to
It's going to be the same beep from the last episode at the end.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm getting it through there. I guess he was like, hey, you're technically a part of family.
We could bring in anybody,
So I'm doing that on Friday. So I might see you on Friday.
No, just what time are you supposed to be there?
Like 11.
Oh, I'll make sure you see me.
I mean, you're in the same spot still, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll
even if I'm not, I know where they give the test at.
Hell yeah. But
I'm gonna walk in and they're gonna be like, "Are you here from?" Like, no, I'm just here. I'm hanging out.
What's up? But yeah, man, getting that on Friday. So it should be a pretty packed week. Got some plans tomorrow too, but I'm not gonna talk about them because don't know what they are yet, to be honest. But yeah, overall,
good stuff.
It's gonna be a time this week. Hopefully,
it will be. It'll be a good time this week.
I hope so. How about you? How are you rocking and rolling through this week? Besides my shit
coming up.
In general, and coming up if you'd like. This is just more of the. Hey,
I'm good.
We haven't been able to talk since I've gotten here. To be fair, theory. I've literally.
As I get a text before we started, like, "Hey, can you?" As soon as we're live, then I need you to do this.
I feel that.
No, she said, Romeo has to go outside. I'm like, okay, well, he has to hold it for a second.
It's all good. We got time.
No, I'm cool. Busy as usual, but that's nothing new.
There it is.
There's the knock. But everything's been pretty good. We're in the midst of the birthday weekend for Trenton.
Yes.
We had some bigger plans for him, but the snow kind of destroyed those plans.
Here's the thing, man. You just shift it. The snow was the plan.
Oh, we said that to him. He's like, you got snow for your birthday.
Yeah.
Because since Christmas, he's been like, is it going to snow? When's it going to snow? Is it going to snow yet?
And there it is for the birthday.
It came for his birthday.
Hell yeah, so. There you go.
I took him outside with me, and he ran back in under an hour. Like, it's too cold. I'm going in the house. I'm like, all right, I'll shovel the rest of all this by myself.
I feel that entirely, man. I woke up the morning that all that snow came in. I didn't know it was supposed to snow because I don't pay attention to the weather because I'm just like whatever. Like I'll adapt and overcome as it happens. And I woke up and I look out the window, and like that feeling in the morning where you're just waking up. You didn't turn your room light on or anything. Maybe you check your phone for a second, go to the bathroom, and then you walk out to like living room or somewhere, and there's a window. And then it's just the reflection of the sun onto the snow.
Oh, yeah, because it's way
right
brighter
into your
now.
eyes. It's the most painful feeling ever, and I will never get used to it.
Seeing
it's like
the
getting
snow was the most
flashbang.
painful for me.
Yeah, 100%. But it's a time, man. The snow was very nice on Saturday because I didn't have to do shit that day. So I just literally played Pokemon all day and became a hermit. To the point where I almost missed y'all's stream, which was fun as shit.
I've been Trenton's kind of slave all week. Not slave, but he's been like pulling me like, hey, watch me play this. Let's do this. We're going to do this. And so in between, shoveling and I've been watching him play so much Roblox, and then I let him stream it yesterday.
Yeah.
And
it's so hard to understand what's happening in that game, man. It's like, it's the weirdest thing where I just don't know what's happening.
Roblox is just one fever dream after another.
Oh, yeah. There's just so many, like, mini games. And, like, the way that Trenton plays is something to me. Because he's just like, I'm playing this game. I'm uninterested. Out of here. And then immediately go on to the next game. And I'm, like, still trying to figure out what was happening 3 games ago.
When we were streaming it, that's why I kept saying, slow down. Explain what's happening. Because I don't know what's happening.
He was on camera. We had chatters. People were talking to him and stuff. He was reading chat as well.
Yeah.
That was the funny part. So, like, I think it was the moment, like, maybe like 5 minutes before you went up to go get him hot chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm.
I went out in the living room. My mom's watching House of Cards because all she does is watch Netflix shows now, and it's whatever.
Modern technology, man.
I literally bought her headphones, like overhead headphones, from Best Buy for Christmas because like it was annoying where I would walk out and I'd see her on her laptop blaring the audio from her Netflix show while the television is on that my dad is watching, and I'm like, this is just dumb.
So wait, your dad's watching TV and your mom is on? Oh, he's on a laptop.
She's on a laptop watching
blasting
Netflix,
it while
blasting
the TV
it.
is on?
Yes,
she don't give a fuck.
I was like, bro, like even for me, who's not out in the living room ever as of this point, it annoyed me that that was just happening. So I was like, okay, here's headphones. But I went out there and I like paused her Netflix show in front of her because she's on her phone while watching.
Well, that's everybody now.
Yeah, she didn't realize that I was even doing it. I tossed in the Twitch, and I was like, I put it on the, I get those views any way you can, But I tossed her on there, and she was watching it, and she's like, after everything was over, she's like, how old is he? And I'm like, he's like 6, 7, like, like around there. And she's like, and he's reading like that? And I'm like, yeah, he's a smart kid. What do you want?
Oh, so she saw it too.
Yeah, she was surprised at how well he was, because she works in an elementary school as like a front desk lady, and like, no offense to the kids in where I live, but they ain't that smart.
But they're dumb children.
Legitimately, yes. The amount of times I've hear her talk about like how they're little shits, they're idiots, or not necessarily idiots, but like one of them. Apparently, there's one kid who's like just takes his clothes off and like gets
in trouble. What grade is
this? Like kindergarten to 6, like in that area.
Well, what grade was this kid?
I don't know.
Oh, all right.
It's just so often that there's so
after
much.
Kindergarten, that's bad.
I think it might have been, to be fair. But like, there's just a lot of like stories of like stupid shit happening, and then like terrible parents that are like, "What do you mean there's no school today?" Meanwhile, 8 inches of snow, like, and they're bitching like,
"I need to off my child.
I have work today. I need to drop my kid off," as if it's daycare. I'm like, I get why you're bitching, mother, but also
call out of work.
That. Yes.
Not that, I mean, I'm sure everybody's work situation is different. You can't just say call out of work.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, what do you expect?
Exactly. Yeah.
With that much snow?
But other than that, no, she was watching. She was surprised by like Trenton's reading and like him playing the game, and like I put in the chat like, "What do you want for your birthday, bud?" And then like he read it just like perfectly, and then she just like called me out and was surprised. I'm like, bro, these kids these days that are not where we live, they're smart because they play games. They're constantly having to read, so they have to. And especially with Trenton, like he plays Roblox all day long. Well, not all day long.
All day long.
I didn't want to be that guy.
We've relegated his gaming to just the weekend now.
Gotcha. Okay.
So from the moment he gets home Friday, he knows like this is my my window.
This is my opportunity.
So he's playing as soon as he gets in Friday till he goes to sleep. Then he'll wake up Saturday, come in like, "Can I go in the basement?" I'm like, "Do what you got to do first. Then if your mom says cool, then go ahead."
Gotcha. But yeah, like he's playing these games, and like even though they're not like not to downplay Roblox or say that it's stupid or anything, but like there are a lot of simple shit. He's reading every single thing that's on the screen out loud, and I'm just like, dude, how are you reading like that? Like it's crazy. He's exposed to it, and he's being put in a situation where he has to, you know.
Trenton is a lot of things, but he's definitely smart. Oh yeah, I'll always tip my hat to him. I know that's weird to say as a father, but like...
I mean, hey, man. Everyone deserves their tips of hats.
Trenton just... My only thing with Trenton is like, sometimes I'll be like, reel it in. Slow down. Take your time. Because sometimes he'll read something and just skip entire words. I'm like, read each word.
I got you. Yeah.
But as far as, can he read it? Yes.
Yeah. It was a fun stream, to say the least. I assume we'll talk about that later in the podcast. But that was a good stream. If you missed it, go watch it because it's still... on the channel. But yeah, I feel like you guys got to play together next time, like a game, like not to like call it out, but maybe like Gang Beasts or Minecraft Dungeons, because like
Minecraft Dungeons I'm all in on. Gang Beasts, what's the other game that's just like Gang Beasts?
Humans Fall Flat.
Humans Fall Flat. And Minecraft, I'm like, he'll ask like, "Yo, do you want to play something?" Like, no. And I know that's probably like, I know that sounds mean, but like I don't enjoy it. Like I can play them. I played it with him, but I'm like, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't lean towards these games.
Yeah, those specific games at least.
Sometimes I let them be great, and I'm like, all right, I'll come to your world, and we'll play what you want to play.
Gotcha.
So he'll be like, "Can we play this? Can we play that?" And I'm like, "Can we play like Minecraft Dungeons or Mario Maker or something that like I'll also enjoy?"
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. I feel that, man. Plus, I feel like Minecraft can you play that 2-player?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
like with Minecraft, he'd have to be like on, because I got my old Xbox One in his room. And he has it on Switch. I was like, he'd have to be on one of those, and I'd have to be on like
gotcha. So you'd be like
Xbox
together, but like over online or something.
Right.
Gotcha. All right. I thought I heard the door open, and I was like, ooh.
I hear those footsteps so close to the door. I'm like, what are you doing?
But yeah, man. Overall though, life's happening. It's an experience right now of all the shit we got going on. We got Patreon that's new, trying to figure out when we're gonna do that podcast, because I assume we should probably do it like next week, just so it's like worth it for the people who signed up already. Maybe.
I think so.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, but yeah, man. I guess it's time.
Time to start the show.
All right. Cool.
Start the show.
Now we're starting the real show, people on TikTok. How are y'all doing over in the chat?
Play Barbie Supermodel on SNES.
If you subscribe to our Patreon, you can suggest that game.
No, you know me. Like, don't tell me to. Now I have to play it and stream it.
Here's the thing, man. Fuck it.
And that's an OG game too. So now I have to play it. I have to stream that game.
You can. That's the beauty of it.
I know.
I feel like that should have been something we added to the Patreons, like where you suggest a specific game we play. And like we have to make like a video out of it or something, as opposed to just streaming it.
We do need to get back to
video,
playing games in the same place at the same time on like this TV.
I don't even know if we'll be able to tonight.
No, by the time we finish.
Level up, gamers, and welcome back to another episode of the Save Before Quitting podcast. As always, I am joined by my lovely co-host.
I'm the lovely Ant.
And I am Chris. As always, you can follow us everywhere that exists in social media land at savebeforequitting over on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and over on YouTube for the video version of the podcast.
Yep.
Titty. That's the acronym. Besides that, you can also go to our website, savebeforequitting, fully spelled out, .com to pick up some merchandise, to watch our Twitch streams, to see our Twitter feed, all of those and more. You can also email us at savebeforequitting, fully spelled out, at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can send your questions, concerns, threats,
insults, compliments.
I was going to say something else, but I don't want to say it. You can bleep this.
Now we're leaving that.
Please bleep that.
Send them all to Chris.
Don't do that.
Send them all to Chris.
You realize that 80% of the time, you answer the emails before I do.
I do. I don't answer the emails.
No, but you see them before I do.
How?
Because there are multiple times where I don't see the emails, and then you're like, yo, what's up with this? And I'm like, the fuck are we talking about?
All right, yeah, don't send those.
Yeah, don't do that. That's why you're bleeping it.
No, I'm going to keep them in. I at the end, I said, don't send them. I rectified it at the end.
People are going to pause, and they're going to go do it, and then they're going to send it. And then it's going to be one of those whole situations like a Disney original movie where they need to find us, get into our email, delete the email before we see the email, that shit, you know?
That pisses me off in those. That shit would never work.
No, it never does. That's the point. It always fails.
But even the attempt is like, why would you even attempt it?
Because what else are you going to do? Just accept your mistake?
I guess they wouldn't have a show at that point.
Exactly. It wouldn't be the sweet life of Zack and Cody.
They'd be like, this is stupid, credits.
Exactly. I shouldn't do this, end credit.
Immediately.
Literally that, like, the new Spider-Man movie. Maybe we shouldn't do this magic spell, end credits.
End credits.
That's it. That's it.
It comes back in for 1 second, like, oh yeah, and then Toby and Andrews are like, hey, credits.
They're not even in
just
there.
So that you can be like, oh, they were in it.
They'll just do like a cameo of those two guys as actors in the world, like how they did with the Quicksilver guy in WandaVision.
Right.
Whose name was Ralph Boner.
They knew what they were doing.
That's canon in the MCU, which is sad to me.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. Moving forward from that, you can also now check us out on Patreon. We have finally bit the bullet, and we have made the Patreon live and official. Patreon.com/save4quitting, in which there are 3 tiers that you can subscribe to us for extra support if you'd like to do so. The first tier is the standard edition, in which you will get a shout out on the pod, which will come towards the end of the podcast, and also visually for the Friday people. And you will also get a special role on Discord. One of our people who have already subscribed have gotten all of their roles set up and going. Frankie is the agent of chaos.
He is, in real life, too.
What was the other? Splitting gates or something like that, along those lines. Yoshi activist, I think, was the most recent one.
Y'all got to deal with the Yoshi shit, man.
But there's multiple options that you can choose from, and you can also send me suggestions of what you want yours to be.
Yes.
Other than that $3 tier, you can also go up a tier at $5, and you will get an extra podcast per month that is exclusive to the Patreon on the Patreon feed itself. We haven't recorded it yet, to be completely frank with you.
At the time of this recording, we have not recorded that.
That'll come soon, and that's more of a off the rails, just us talking, maybe a little bit more specific about life. Or maybe not life. Maybe just, we'll pick a topic and then just like riff off about it for an hour to a half hour. But it'll be an extra podcast weekly for you guys. Won't be super edited, I don't think. Maybe just like a simple, just easy peasy one as opposed to like a hyper edited podcast.
Oh yeah. I think that one is supposed to be kind of raw.
Yeah, raw.
That's like the raw behind the scene. Like you want that podcast.
Rawhide.
That's the podcast I'm taking your phone on. And we're like, all right, let's get this
That'll
going.
Be fun. That's like the first episode, I feel like.
Yeah, it has. It's been built up since the beginning.
But other than that, there's above that tier, you also get the $10 tier, which is the collector's edition, which you will be offered a spot on the podcast. One podcast a month we will specifically do digitally, and we will have people on the podcast to talk about their topic or to talk about another topic, but we're going to have to do that in some sort of fashion, maybe live on Twitch. That's the way we do live podcasts on Twitch again, maybe.
Yeah, we can do that.
Because that would work a lot easier in theory. Because we could have everybody waiting to be in, whoever's waiting. And then while that is a thing and we'll have everyone on every single week, once we get more people in that tier, we'll have to, be like, okay, here's a wheel of the people in this tier. Spin the wheel. These people are on this week. XYZ Elemental P.
That works.
But just for context, I didn't put that in the description yet, just because I didn't think that we were going to get many in the $10 tier right away. But I think we have 3 right now, so there's that.
Yeah, and that's love. We appreciate you guys.
We'll shout you guys out at the end. Much love. But yeah, every single week we start off with the same exact topic. And what did you play this week?
I played. Well, I think the first thing I did this week was took our homie Frankie up on his challenge. And he wanted me to go through Mario World 1 and 2 as just little Mario, no power-ups. And I can't collect any or hit any switches and complete it. And that I did. I will admit, I did lose a life. I was going to try to get through it without losing a life.
I can't believe this. This is rigged. This is a scam.
It was a scam and rigged and all the above. But in order to supplement that, I went well past World 1 and 2. And I think I'm at like World 5.
Jesus.
And never collected a power-up. And if I did by accident, I would lose it immediately.
Damn.
Just to prove that I could pull this off.
GG. There you go. That was a fun stream. I think I hopped in a little late for that. I don't know why, but I was
You weren't too late.
Yeah, I was a little late.
What else? So that was a game we played. I was supposed to play more Mario RPG after that, but I ended up getting so caught up in Mario World.
I was going to mention that too. I was like, y'all, it says Mario RPG in the title, but you were just feeling it with World.
And then people started piling in and they were like into this. I was like, well, now I just want to play this.
I feel that. That's the way it goes.
Yeah. We bend at the will of our viewers and our supporters.
Yeah.
And we are happy to. Don't take that the wrong way.
For money.
For money. Before money, I felt like we kind of did that too.
This podcast is sponsored by our Patreon now.
I have an idea, and I'm going to talk to you off recording. It's funny you say that, but we're going to talk about it.
Yearly calendar.
Huh? What?
Yearly calendar.
Just us laid out like that.
Like at the end of I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry with all the firefighters.
Yeah. No, but we'll talk about it. So besides that, I'm trying to think of the rest of the week. I didn't play anything after that during the week. But yesterday, me and Trenton played Roblox. He played Roblox. I played with him before the stream.
You were the official hot chocolate handover-er.
That was I was like, you know what that was? All right, let's set the table first. I let Trenton stream Roblox on our Twitch. He's been dying to stream, and I will kind of say he does have a knack. He gets the ebbs and flows of streaming.
He's reading chat.
He's saying like, subscribe, like. I was like, what?
Yeah, man. He was saying all the things, the buzzwords.
Right. So I sat there with him while we played that, and looked at all that Roblox nonsense.
It's a time,
but
man.
it was a fun time.
Even Kev was in the chat. He's like, "This game is surprisingly good. Like, there's some stuff in there."
There is. I will admit that.
Yeah,
there is some stuff in there. It's just that I think the filter, the little human filter that I'm going through, I'm not seeing like the stuff that I would actually like.
The little human filter.
Because I'm only seeing what's in his algorithm and what he's playing.
True.
So I'm just looking at it like, what?
Yeah, I feel you.
This is ridiculous. But there's shit I've seen like online where it's just like, that's Roblox.
Yeah.
Even that Nerf game is pretty crazy.
The only thing I don't like about that one is when you die, you have to go back to the main menu, which is weird to me. But I'm also like, I'm not mad about it because for how well that seems to be made, if that's the only like detriment, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So, and plus he's also pretty decent at it as well when he's not shooting his teammates. But
I'm like the red, not the green.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So, and to go back to your comment, I hear him running around up there. He's like, "Can I have my hot cocoa, please?" So I ran upstairs and got his hot cocoa, and then after he would finish doing any task, he'd be like, "Cocoa, please," and I would have to like let him sip it and then put it back. But he started becoming egregious. I'm like, you're showing off for these cameras and making me your little cocoa bitch.
When it got to the game with the slapping, I was
Yes,
like,
that was
"Sir."
another thing.
I was like, Trenton, what are you doing right now? You're getting too confident in yourself.
Yeah, he started feeling himself a little bit once he shook the nerves off.
Yeah.
That's why I give him that quick jab, like, I'll really fuck you up on camera. I'm not scared of these people watching.
Yeah. It was funny because I was like, oh, that was funny. Like, one slap dance. That was funny in context for the game. And then it kept happening. I'm like, this isn't going to go well for you, bud. I'm letting you know I'm about to type this in chat. And then before I even had a chance to be like, this ain't going to go well for you. Pop! I'm like, there it is. That right there is the learning experience right there.
Because at this point, I can be like, because you don't have to be on this. I have to come back to the stream.
True.
I don't want people coming back on here and there's like random people who are viewing it like, hey, didn't you the guy who got slapped by his child? I'm like, listen, bitch. All right? Where do you live?
Listen, I have a beard. It cushions it.
Nah, I think the last one, he was really like real. I was like, okay. It's about to get really dark for you.
It was a time, man. Who we got in the chat? Who's saying what?
Lucas.
Also, I'm over here like, so later y'all record the pod.
It's so late, y'all record the pod.
I mean, to be fair, yes, but this is normally the time we record around.
Yeah.
Even if it's digital, we'll record late just because, life. But yeah. Back to what you played besides the Roblox.
So that was that, and then later that evening, I started Pokemon.
Legends Arceus.
Legends Arceus, yes.
Have you gotten to pick your starter yet?
Yes. Sweet. And it's the grass one. What's his name?
Rowlet,
yes.
Rowlet with a
Rowlet,
R.
sorry.
Not Growlithe.
Sorry. Look, I've been out of the Pokemon game for a while.
Growlithe is...
I know Growlithe. I like Growlithe. I think that's what I got mixed up. Anyway.
He comes later, apparently.
Skeet.
What?
So, that's a game. I don't dislike the game. Let me not do that.
Yeah. I have critiques.
It's just like... It's very tedious.
At the beginning.
Yeah, I'm not obviously to where you are, where it kind of breaks free.
I'm still not there. Like, I'm there, but not there. Like, I'll tell you what's like it's about, but like it's. But let me know. So, what are you thinking?
I'm thinking. I don't dislike it. I like I like the freedoms and the movement that it seems to be leading you towards. Yeah. I like the fact that it's. I just like the fact that it's different. Mm-hmm. Granted, I haven't done much. Yeah. So I can only speak for that first 45 minutes, maybe 30, 45 minutes.
That first 45 was rough for me, man.
It is rough. So I think that's why I don't really have a lot I can really comment on.
Yeah.
I don't dislike it, but I'm not like sold. Like I'm not at a point in the game where I'm running back to my Switch to play that.
I feel that.
It's just like, all right, well, whenever I get back to this, I'll get back to this.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's pretty much it for me.
All right. So I'll wait till talk about Pokemon as my last one because I feel like that's the most fresh in my mind. Other than that, though, this week has been a little less game filled because I've been busy doing other things, shooting things places, and if you're picking up what I'm putting down. I've been playing a little bit of Halo with the guys as usual. Mm-hmm. We're pretty good at that game. Like, I'm not a part of like the main squad of 4 that they play with. Like, right. I'm like the 5th or like the alternate for like one of them pretty much. And like when I play with them, we play really well. I think they play really well with the other guy as well in general. But like we'll hop in a big team battle, which is also a fucking struggle right now because the matchmaking sometimes doesn't work. Mm-hmm. But you can play with like a lobby of 5 people and load into a big team battle, which is nice. It just won't have you on your squad of 4. It'll just have that 1/5 member be on a different squad of 4, which is fine.
Right.
But like the loading kind of sucks. People's games are crashing when you're trying to use big team battle XYZ. But it's really fun, man. Like it's probably one of the most. It feels like the most correct shooter when it comes to like how the feel is. The only thing I'm not a fan of, and this is just a Halo in general, is the time to kill. Mm-hmm. I mean, but that's just Halo. Like, you have to break the shield, then you have to also do more damage on top of that.
Right.
And it just never really feels like my bullets are doing that much damage, even if I'm using a different gun, like, besides the AR. Because the AR factually sucks, but it sucks on purpose. The pistol is great. I love the pistol.
Yeah, you sold me on the pistol.
Yeah. On PC, when I play keyboard and mouse, I'm a bigger fan of the assault rifle because it's a little bit better, and then I could just get in close and then melee at the end of my spray, which is nice. And the pistol's a little bit harder to hit accurate shots on PC if you're not used to shooting first person on a PC. But with the controller, it feels a lot better in general, and the pistol's nice. But I don't know, man. That game, I feel like, even though 343 is kind of slacking on it and like the matchmaking is kind of shitty right now, it's pretty good, man. It's a really good option for a free-to-play shooter besides like Splitgate, which I think is not necessarily the best one right now. Like, I feel like Apex is still at the top for me, even though I don't like playing it. It's still the best shooter that I play.
Explain that. What makes it the best, even though you don't like playing it?
Apex, the movement.
I can't. Vion 6422.
What's up? We're recording our podcast live. Thank you for joining us.
And for anybody who's not part of the... Well, if our video and audio, we have our TikTok up. So if you see us looking off...
I assume you were going to edit this out, but this works too.
What?
This in the podcast.
Edit out me talking to the...
Yeah, the TikTok.
I guess I could.
In theory.
Because...
But at the same time...
That'd be a lot more editing for you in the video version.
It's fine. But yeah, man. Welcome. Check out our other TikToks if you like our stuff. Drop us a follow and check out the podcast every week on Thursday and Friday.
Do it.
On YouTube and everywhere. But what's there to talk about?
Apex. Why is it the best even though you don't like it?
It's the best game just because it has the best characters, the best movement, the best abilities, and then like the gunplay feels the best. Even though I am factually not enjoying it at the moment. Like, I tried to play... Maybe actually it was earlier this week with Lucas... And it was kind of funny because it was me and Lucas only. We hop into 2 matches of arenas, and the first match went well. And then the second match, it was like garbage. And he was like, "Get the fuck up! We're going and playing Fortnite with Nicole."
Wait, you did tell me this.
Yeah, and it was hilarious because of how mad Lucas got.
He just said I raged so hard.
Yeah, and like it was ironic and it was surprising because I wasn't that mad. Like, I'm mad, but I'm not at the level that Lucas was at. And then we got over
You've
to Fortnite.
Been there, though.
I've been there many times. And Lucas has laughed at me for being there. So it's nice to be on the opposite ends at least one time in my life. But, yeah, other than that, Apex, I would say, is at the top. Just because overall, it just makes the most sense and it works the best. Under that, I would probably put, probably Halo, then Splitgate, then Fortnite. Because I think Fortnite... While the gunplay is great and like the building is okay, it's not like up there on the upper echelon of shooters anymore. Like it's good and it's factually good, and I'm not even gonna front and like do some bullshit like, oh, it's Fortnite, huh? But like at the root of it all, if you just play the game and like you're not like focused on the memes and all like the kiddie shit in it, it's factually a good game.
Yeah,
like how Roblox probably is.
I think Fortnite. I think that's in the place on your list makes sense because I think Fortnite, fortunately and unfortunately, I think it works for it and against it, has to appeal to such a spread now.
Yeah.
That it can't hone in on like being good at one thing.
Exactly.
So it has to appeal to like the masses, like to the point where like it kind of has to be like a watered down shooter.
100%. Plus they're just constantly changing shit on the spectrum of like there is a new item, it feels like, every month. And then you have to get used to it, and then they either take it away completely, or they put in a new item on top of that makes it not worth even using.
And then they got to cater that new item to the whole game so it doesn't break anything.
Exactly. Like that's one thing that I'm like, I'm not worried about it, but like the Spider-Man gloves, like as much as I love using them, because I think it's one of the most fun things in the game right now, it's also one of the most OP things in the game, because you can literally have a guy who's like a really good builder and like good shooting, maybe not really, and like you can just use your Spider-Man gloves to swing to the top of his build, no problem whatsoever, and get the high ground on him. And it's kind of unfair,
right?
And like I get it, but it's also like there's not enough Spider-Man gloves on the map to make it a fair thing unless everyone fucking gets it. Kind of shit, in my opinion.
That makes sense.
But other than that, yeah, I've been playing Apex only a little bit. Fortnite a little bit as well. I'm kind of working towards more stuff in the Battle Pass. It seems like they're getting ready for the next event, like the live event, because there's like new things showing up on the map. There's like dinosaurs now, and there was like apparently big footsteps found on the map at one point that's like bigger than the regular dinosaurs. So there's that. But they're also getting close to the time that The Rock shows up, which I think is in like a week or so.
That's a sentence, man.
Yeah. Well, it's not The Rock, to be fair.
Well,
It's
I know
like,
what you said. Yeah.
He's like factually a character in the canon lore of Fortnite with like the 7, which is like 7 scientists who created what Fortnite is, which is like this eternal loop of pretty much Battle Royale. And it seems like they're trying to stop the loop, almost death loop style. And that's what this event's going to be based around. And then you earn the Rock skin, obviously, which I think you don't even get the Rock head until you complete everything. Like you have to get the main.
So it's like the Spider-Man thing. You have to go through every. Okay.
Yeah, it's its own battle pass by itself. But I'm also trying to do the extra because once you complete the battle pass, there's the bonus items. Well, there's like the Future Foundation suit, and there's a couple other variations on other characters' suits as well. And that one's really annoying because all of the items in there, each individual item, is like 30 stars each, in comparison to the regular battle pass where each item was like maybe 5. To like do the main battle pass. Like I get it. I get what you're doing here. You're trying to make it, like last longer, make people play more, so they have to get more stars to get what they want out of like what the money they spent for the battle pass. But also, are you kidding me?
Right. Still, you're making it more tedious.
Exactly. As opposed to something like Splitgate, where it's like I bought the battle pass when that game first fully launched, and I still have it, and I still haven't gotten to the end of it. But I don't feel bad that I'm not getting everything like immediately like this,
One thing Splitgate does very well is even if you're not earning anything, it makes you feel good post game. You feel like you got something.
Oh, 100%.
Every single
you made
one.
a contribution to the game's outcome, whether it be good or bad.
Right.
Which is the good part. Like, because you need to feel bad. Like, not to be a dick, but like
you have to have some incentive to go back.
Exactly. Like if you lost the game and you got your ass kicked and you were the numbers in the TDM that caused it to get higher or closer to 50 faster, then you want to go back in and prove yourself that you're better than that.
Right.
And it's good to have that feeling as opposed to like Fortnite where, no offense, there's really no incentive to go back into the next game besides, hey, let's go back in the next game, no big deal, whatever, here we are. But yeah. Other than that, Pokemon Legends Arceus.
Let's go.
I streamed it this week.
Yes, you
on
did.
Friday for Figure Friday. If you're new to this channel or new to this podcast, every single Friday from around 6-ish or 7-ish to whenever I decide to stop, we talk about whatever figures that I got that week / collectibles, and then we play a game. Whatever that game would
Everybody loves a game.
Everybody loves a game. But this game, I don't know if I love. Pokemon Legends Arceus this week. Needless to say, I'm not an RPG guy. And that's just a fact. It has nothing to do with the quality of the game whatsoever. The beginning is hard to get through in a general sense because the story is kind of not to, and I'm going to slight spoiler this. It's been out for enough where if you want to play it, you're going to be playing it. In the beginning of the game, the first thing that happens is that you're pretty much being talked to by God, which is Arceus in this case.
That was strange to me.
Yeah.
Like, what is happening?
And then you pretty much wake up as your character and are told that you fell from the sky. And that God gave you like a cell phone in the shape of himself, which is the crazy part. Like you spawn, you choose what you want to look like. And then after that, the God Arceus is like, hey, your mission is to find or seek all Pokemon. And then you fall from the sky, which you don't see. You wake up with this professor that's got like the weirdest looking beanie headgear. Yeah. And he's just like, oh, well, my mission is to capture all Pokemon, so we should work together. And I'm like, okay.
I don't know you, old man.
I don't know you, but I guess we have similar missions because apparently I'm an angel that's fallen from heaven. That's a thing?
Yes.
Apparently.
You're either that or you're Jesus.
That's what I said on stream. I was like, I'm pretty much Jesus. I'm the son of God. But then at the same time, that doesn't make sense.
Who has a cell phone?
In the shape of his father. But, like, the thing that doesn't make sense is that I think Palkia and Dialga, like, the two, like, other Pokemon that are, like, those are also his children, but one's, like, time and one's space gods. So does that mean that I am Jesus? So I don't know.
Pokemon is gone.
Like,
off the rails.
The lore aspect of it to get you into the world is really stupid, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This is the one time where it really would have made sense to just wake up in your bedroom and go downstairs to see your mother.
Yeah.
And just be like, hey, I'm ready to go on my Pokemon adventure. That would have been fine. Like, I get that we want to be different with this game, but this was
I feel like they're in the Pokemon offices like, all right, how do we want to change the formula? How do we start this off? How do we kick off and the guy walks in like, I got it. You're just like,
you're Jesus.
No, he just sits, he just slams a Bible down. This. Like, they're looking at him like,
and then Torby's in the back.
They look at him like, go on.
Yeah. Read Leviticus, bitch. Like, that's what it feels like. But other than that, the first hour and like 45 minutes is just a fucking nightmare to get through. Like, it literally was so boring. Because I was trying to make it entertaining for the stream where I'm like reading everything in a voice, because, you know, like, you want to keep the energy up, you know, right. You want to be entertaining to the people that are in the chat. They're taking the time to watch your stream. But, like, I got to the point where I was like, this is boring. Like, I'm so bored right now. And then it got to the part where you had to catch all 3 starters. I'm like, sweet, here comes the gameplay. Awesome, we're getting into it. Nope, you don't play the game for like another 10 minutes because there's more dialogue and more shit talking about the Survey Corps and the Team Galactic, which is also weird to me because Team Galactic is like a bad guy in the Pokemon universe.
Yeah. So,
like, that's a thing that's weird because Team Galactic is, like, in canon, I forget which game specifically they came up in, but they were the bad guys. Then, after they were the bad, now we're the good guys, but also there's an underlying tone of we're not the good guys because there's like an old lady that you find that kind of like talks shit on you, like, you're a part of the Survey Corps. And I'm like, what
actual dialogue in the game.
Pretty much. More or less. I didn't give a fuck to read it. I literally spammed A through most of the dialogue because I don't care anymore.
It is very much one of those games where it's like, just let me do the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I want to do it.
And then the thing that annoys me the most is the concept of it being an open world game. It's really not, in my opinion, humbly. An open world game to me is like something like Breath of the Wild or Ghost of Tsushima, where it's like, hey, I'm here, and now I need to go here. And this one doesn't feel like it, at least at the start. Like, you need to fast travel to these different areas, but you have this one hub area that you can teleport from to. And then, like, there's, like, you have to level up your Survey Corps star rank in order to get to it, which I assume if you get to level 10 on your Survey Corps, you would, in theory, be able to just walk through those bridges as, like, freely as you want. But then there's no reason to, because just fast travel.
It's more, I wouldn't call it open world, but it's like, I don't know, open hub. It's an open hub game.
Open hub.
You get into little hubs, and now you can go all around this hub, but only in this hub until you have authorization to go to the next thing.
Yes.
But it's like, you get to explore contained areas.
But then the contained areas, at least so far, don't seem that much different.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Like, walking around there, it's like, there's really nothing here.
Yeah.
There's
no landmarks or anything.
Yeah.
It's just grass. Now, here's the thing. In Sword and Shield, there was a part in the map where you would get to there, and there would be like this. There was like the open area, pretty much. That was the open world part of that weren't like towns or anything. And this feels like they took that concept from Sword and Shield and are like, bigger! And that's it.
That's all they did.
Like, they said bigger, and then, like, that was it. And, like, then they just spread it out with multiple versions of it at the moment.
Right.
As far as gameplay goes, the battle system, it's Pokemon. There is an interesting thing with the agile and strong style, where you can choose to do an agile style move, which is faster, less damage, but you could also do 2 attacks in a row. Right. Like that. Same thing with strong style. You're slower but stronger attack XYZ. I like it, but like I'm also like, this is just Pokemon. Like it's still just Pokemon. Like I thought this was going to be the different game, but it's not. Another thing that really annoyed me, apparently Pokemon can just spawn, like just in general. Like I cleared out a field of Starly, the birds, cleared them out completely. And then I walked away to let my dogs out. And I returned to my game because I didn't hit the pause button or anything or bring up a menu. And it said, on the screen was black and had white text. It's like, you blacked out. I'm like, what the fuck happened? Turns out I was attacked by Pokemon. And that's a thing we know can happen, obviously. Yeah. But like, I was attacked by Pokemon that weren't there, that spawned for like the 2 minutes that I was away to let my dogs out. I was like, yes, it's my fault, but also, why would they spawn out of nowhere, you know?
So it kind of, like, it's not a living, like, you know how certain open world, like, living games where if I kill that enemy, if I clear this area, it's cleared. Mm-hmm. This is more of a, like...
You clear the area, wait 5 minutes, they'll respawn. Yeah. Which is kind of annoying. But at the same time, I understand why, because you want to catch a bunch of them. Which is another thing that I don't like.
Well, I didn't get to that yet, but when I was watching you do it, I'm just like, that doesn't seem like, this is going to sound like we're shitting on this game. No. And I don't want it to come off that way.
We're super early into this game to the point where I don't think it's enjoyable yet, which it will get enjoyable to a point where like it'll just let you do what you want to do. But still, right now, it's...
Watching you do that, I was like, do you have to catch all these same Pokemon? It was... How do I explain myself right now? And this isn't just this game, but games that have that, I don't like games where like somebody has to tell you like, yeah, I know, no, it's going to take a little while to get like into it, but once you're like 3 hours in, it opens up. I hate when people like introduce games that way.
Same.
So I was like, I don't want to spend 3 hours not having fun.
Exactly.
I don't want to work my way into the fun. I wanted to be fun out the gate.
100%. And like, here's the thing, like, it's not that it's not fun out the gate. It's just that it's super over-explanatory to set up the world, which it doesn't need to be. And then the stuff that it is doing to explain the world isn't really that interesting. And that's fine. Like, it doesn't need to be the most interesting thing. Like, the interesting part is the Pokemon. That's it. But, like, the thing that I don't like is the way they did the Pokedex in this. Because the Pokedex, obviously, it's in the Edo or Edo period of Japan, which I thought was China on stream for some reason, even though factually, obviously, it was Japan. The way that it works is you have to catch a certain amount of Pokemon of that same type species. So it's like Starly, for example. You need to catch 25 total. Then you need to also see them use a specific move X amount of times. Then you also need to catch 25 amount of them. Then you also need to see another different move a couple times. Then you have to catch 2 variations of the same Pokemon, which is male and female, I believe. Because I got one of them done. I thought it was shiny and non-shiny, and I was like, this is going to suck ass. Because shiny spawn is low. But there's that.
Lucas said Ant doesn't have 3 hours to wait to have fun. I don't.
He doesn't.
3 hours is probably like all I have sometimes.
Exactly.
If that.
Yeah. But it's funny because like it's one of those things where it's like in theory we could be playing right now, but like I don't even want to go home and play. Like I want to go home. I would rather in my current state, instead of playing the new game that I just bought, play a VR game that I've had for weeks.
And I feel you. Because sometimes that's how I feel too. Like I gotta play the Halo campaign. I'm
not playing that till we have co-op, and I think we should play together.
Well, now I'm gonna hold off even more. What's another?
You
month?
can play multiplayer. To be fair, to get into the swing of things.
I've been wanting to play through whatchamacallit, Horizon, just because the new one's coming out, and I was like, it's coming out on the 18th. Tomorrow's 31st. I can beat that game in under 18 days.
Could you though?
I could try. I could play if I play for like an hour a night, and then on the weekends, like.
Do you have an hour a night?
No OG streams this month. No.
The thing with the OG streams is
I could play.
You can play whatever the fuck you want. You are the OG.
Yeah.
It's not always. It doesn't always have to be OGs with the OG. It's game with OG. You know, like
with me.
Yeah.
But what was my point?
How Horizon.
Time. Where we
18
started.
days. Fun. Lack thereof.
How is this related to Pokemon? What are we talking about?
I don't know.
Oh, you would rather go home and play VR. Okay. My point is, there's other things. I have so many things that I need to jump into that it's like I could keep onboarding this slow process, or I can go and play these other things
and have fun
that I need to jump into. Yeah. And I'm not saying this game is. If I want to keep reiterating that, we're not saying this game is not fun.
I will make a statement. The first hour of this game is not fun.
Okay.
I will that's a hill that I'll die on, because I don't think it's a hill. I think that's a mountain with like a full fucking like fledged town that has existed for years. There's a church. There's an H&M. There's everything in this mountain that we're standing on. The first hour is not fun, and it never will be.
So it's like, you know what? This to me seems like a game I'll just like pick at over time.
Yeah.
Like I'm chilling. All right, let me pick up my Switch and just play another
100%.
hour of this, and then.
I think this is going to be the game that gets me to take my Switch out of the dock more than anything else. Just because, like, when I was playing on the Pro Controller, don't get me wrong, it's fine. I feel like I need to, like, be laying in bed playing this, or, like, sitting out in the living room watching, like, a fucking hockey game and then playing this in the background. Like, because I can't just only do this. Like, even when I played it the next day after my stream, I had to have a podcast up from a different on my other screen, because I was just like, this is boring.
You took the word out of my mouth. I said this is a Pokemon Arceus Legend. Pokemon Legends, is it Arceus or Arceus? I keep going back and forth.
So here's the thing. Back when we were kids and Arceus was first shown off as a Pokemon, as a legendary, it was Arceus.
Okay.
Even in like the animated series, it was said as Arceus. They announced this game, didn't say the name of the game until they did that the Nintendo Direct, or the Pokemon Direct rather, and that's when they said Arceus, and that's when like it pretty much flip-flopped Berenstein Bears style.
Got it.
But like it was one of those things where it's like, but we know it's different from the perspective of Berenstein Bears, because that's like a factual. It was this thing. It never was this thing. This is very much. It is this now. It was this prior.
Got it.
Neither is wrong. Neither is correct at the same time.
So. Pokemon Arceus Legends Arceus is a perfect podcast game. It's like I'm chilling out, I'm gonna throw a podcast on, even throw an album on, like, and just kick back and just play. But it's a like something you do while also doing something else.
100%.
Until further notice, until we see that it gets intense or something.
Yeah. The thing that I think would have changed this completely, and this is just my opinion, is voice acting.
Oh man, maybe that's it. Because read so much reading.
It's not even the fact that I don't mind reading that much, because even Breath of the Wild, there's many parts where there's no voice acting, but then it's broken up by parts that there are voice acting. And that's the thing that kept me going, because it's like when you got to that period of time where there was these very wordy explanations of stuff, it would tell it for you so you didn't have to read it, but you still had the like the text on screen.
The beginning of this where God is talking should have been voice acted.
That should have been voice acted. I feel like, in my opinion, all the human characters that are major characters to the story, you should have casted as a person. Obviously, your character's not going to talk. Fine. I don't give a fuck. But, like, you need to cast a female and a male lead for your rivals / whatever the fuck they're going to be in this. You need to cast the professor. You need to cast all the people that are inside the fucking building that you're ranking up for the Survey Corps. And then any other major characters that show up need to be voice acted.
I agree.
But that's just me. In my humblest of opinions. I understand Pokemon doesn't do that, but this is trying to be different than Pokemon. So they kind of missed the target, in my opinion, for that. Because of how much you're trying to sell to me right now. You're trying to sell me that I'm literally Jesus. Like, and that's without even joking about it. Like, you're literally telling me that my character is not just a 14-year-old boy. He is a 14-year-old boy that was summoned by God and fell from the sky.
Yes.
Like, even saying that in a serious way is insane to me.
Yeah, this...
And to be fair, that could all just be, like, made up or whatever. Like, that could be a part of the story later on where the professor was like, oh, you fall from the sky. And it wasn't you that fell from the skies. It was some other thing that fell from the sky, and you were just there. And, like, amnesia or some bullshit. Like, there's so many options here. But also, like, that was such a weird way to start this game.
But it's like you started... This didn't have to be that. Like, it
No.
could have started like the other Pokemon games, just the mechanics are different. It's a different kind of game.
I would have preferred that if I woke up and it was like, this is my day that I get to join the Survey Corps. Like, this is where I'm applying to be in the Survey Corps. Then I go there and I see this professor's out there. He lost his Pokemon. I have to help him catch it. But I'm on my way. I'm going to be late to go to my appointment to see if I'm going to be in the Survey Corps or not. And then I help him, and I'm late. Oh, shit, they're never going to let me in now. But this professor is in with the Survey Corps, and he can vouch for us that I helped him by catching Pokemon. So then now they let me in, and then they give me a little bit of an expedited service because of that.
Yeah, I like that.
The simplest thing. And that was just off the top of my fucking head. Like, I'm not pulling out of the Bible some bullshit. Like, the fuck?
You fell from the sky, dog.
It
happens
was weird.
every day.
It was a weird fucking flex, to say the least. But needless to say, it's fun so far. I like the addition of the alpha Pokemon that are like tougher level Pokemon that are larger. I figured out finally how to change out the Pokemon in my party because obviously you're catching a shit ton of the same Pokemon at the start, so you're gonna have like multiple Starlies or Bidoofs. There's like a little farm that you can go to that's like different ranches, and you can switch out your Pokemon there, which is nice. You can also release Pokemon if you want to, if it's too many Pokemon. And there's also side missions that I did a couple of where one person was like, hey, I really want a Wurmple, which is a weird flex. And I was like, well, guess what? I have 30. Here's one.
I have too many. Please take one.
It was literally like, start the mission. Like, I didn't read it or hit A on any of the people. Then I went back to him after I had caught a shit ton of Pokemon. He's like, man, I really want a Wurmple. Would you be able to catch me a Wurmple? I want to be friends with a Wurmple. And I'm like, well, I have like 30. And it's like, mission accepted. And then I just hit A again. It's like, do you have that Wurmple for me? I just like, grabbed it from my party. And he's like, oh my God, thanks so much. Completed. Like,
easy.
in the matter of 30 seconds as well. So, but needless to say, I got to play it more.
That's like you fell from the sky.
Oh, it's crazy, man. Thank you for my caterpillar. Like, the fuck? But,
Go get one. You're lazy. They're everywhere.
Literally, they are. But yeah, man, it's okay so far. I feel like we just need more time on it. It's not... Here's the thing. I was going to say, I don't know if I want to play it next week on a Friday as well. I would play it again on stream. Because I feel like I'm at the point now where it's like, it's getting into the interesting parts. Like, I'm getting the Pokemon that I can maneuver around the lands more. But I'm a little not a fan of it at the moment. It's okay. It's good. It's not what we thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So, there's that. But that has been what we played this week. Sponsored by our Patreon.
Our Patreon. We're going to keep reminding you about that.
/SaveBeforequitting.
And we appreciate everybody.
Yes. So, yeah. Next up is the news. And I guess before we get into the news, I'll stop the TikTok live because that's what we did last time. So thanks anyone who was in the TikTok live. See that the Lukey has been in there.
Lukey is in there.
The first hours is not the most fun. Yeah.
It's a great game to play while doing other shit. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, thank you guys for joining on TikTok. If you were here for an expedited amount of time, we're gonna turn off the live, finish the podcast out, and then I'm gonna get out of Ant's hair so that he can eat dinner and go to bed. Possibly.
We'll see if I feed myself.
Yeah. I got a burger from Wawa, and I'm not going to lie, they're not good, but, like, it hit a spot.
What spot did it hit if it wasn't good?
Like it's just one of those things where it's like, I kind of want a burger, but I don't want McDonald's because I will not going to have a good time. And I was like, there's no Burger Kings in the area that I know of, so I'm not going to waste my time looking for one. And then I went to Wawa, and I was like, fuck it, I'll get a burger. And I was like, you know what? That was pretty good for what it was.
Right.
It's not good
for what it was.
But
I understand that.
It hit a spot, not the spot, and I'm satisfied for the night.
Got it.
So there we are. But yeah, I'm gonna turn this shit off.
Bye, TikTok.
All right, we're back and we're better than ever. The TikTok's gone and it's just us now.
It's just us.
Yes.
Take your clothes off.
Now, we're into the news section of the podcast in which we talk about all the biggest and baddest things that have happened in this week, which is not much this week, but there are some good gems in there.
Some uncut gems.
Oh shit, I'm gonna cow. I'm gonna insert the clip instead of me talking, man. But or at least for the video version. So we'll start off with the lightest bit of news, the lightest little sprinkle of news.
A little sprinkle.
The newest games of PlayStation Plus have been announced for February. I don't know, man. One of these games, I'm like, bro, the fuck? So I'll read them out loud. One of these games I like. So the first one we're going to talk about is Tiny Tina's Assault on the Dragon Keep, a Wonderlands one-shot adventure. Mm-hmm. That is pretty much a nice little hors d'oeuvre to the new Tiny Tina's Wonderland game coming out pretty soon. I think it's pretty soon.
It's this year, I know that for sure.
Yeah, it's at least this year. But it's a one-shot campaign, which if you don't know what that means, in D&D, pretty much there are things called one-shots, where it's like a campaign that you will play in one go, as opposed to over many sessions and whatnot. So this is like a nice, short little bite-sized piece. Came out in 2013, so it's a little bit older of a game, but it's a nice little gateway into Tiny Tina's Wonderland if you want to just straight away play that, as opposed to going into the other Borderlands games, which technically have Tiny Tina in them, but aren't really along the same storyline.
Still seems like a good time.
Yes. I'm going to do the PS4 one, and then we'll talk about the PS5 one, which is interesting, because I'm not necessarily opposed to it. But the PS4 other title is EA's UFC 4.
Okay.
I've never liked the UFC games. I tried one back on PS3, and they were clunky. They didn't feel smooth or like...
I played one, and I think it was on like Dreamcast or on PS2.
It just feels clunky all the time. Like the moves don't really work together, and then like I never understood the submissions ever. I always just wanted to do the punchy kicky shit. But, like,
you want to get right to it.
But like that's not what UFC is. It's both. So you kind of have to know how to do both. But then I also felt weird because I never knew who to pick. Because I don't know any of those motherfuckers. They ain't got no Jeff Hardys or fucking Hulk Hogan's and that shit.
Picture Hulk Hogan in there.
Fucking Joe Rogan in the game. Is that a thing?
Maybe. I don't know.
He's not on Spotify. No, he is. Is he on Spotify?
Yes.
Okay.
Spotify exclusive.
Oh, that's what the
huge deal.
Yeah. All right. So that's a thing if you're into fighting. The last one, which is cool because I think it's a new game because it's for PS5 exclusively. Planet Coaster, the console edition. So it looks like I'm wrong.
So it's probably on PC.
It was probably another thing.
Yeah.
Now it's the console edition. Planet Coaster, if I had to assume, because I didn't look into it yet, but I'm doing it as I speak because on the fly live, baby. But Planet Coaster, I would assume, has to do something with, what's it called? What's that one old roller coaster game for PC?
Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Yeah, dude. I used to love those games.
I've never played one of those. One of the Roller Coaster Tycoon games.
Well, I just looked it up on Google.
It looks like Roller Coaster Tycoon.
It very much does, but let's just read out the description. I'm going to tell you how well it's reviewed. Planet Coaster is a construction and management simulation game developed and published by Frontier Developments for Microsoft Windows. It was released worldwide in 2016. This has a 93% rating on Humble Bundle, a 4 out of 5 on GameStop, and then also 90% of people that are on Google like this game. So needless to say, it's a pretty good roller coaster simulator as far as we can see from the reviews. I always used to love those games and hate them at the same time.
Why is that?
I don't know. Like it was like you're not really playing a game, but you also are. Like it's simulation based, so like all you're really doing,
planning. Yeah,
you're planning the situation, and then you just got to let it go. But then after that, there's really not much to do. Like once you're done making, the world's largest roller coaster that maybe makes people throw up outside of the trash cans that you have to set up. Like once you're done that, it's like now what?
Right.
Like there's only so big and so badass you can get, but also that I feel like that's the point. It's a simulation. It's not really.
We're gonna get a Roller Coaster Tycoon like super fan hit us up.
Yeah.
Like, what? The moment to moment in Roller Coaster Tycoon and Planet Coaster are amazing.
It's weird, man, because it's like it's one of those things where it's like, what do you get out of it? Like, there's no end to it, It never ends. Like, there's no cap on the money or like goals or anything. No cap, baby. There's no cap on our Patreon. Keep giving us money, please. Thank you. But fucking, I don't know. It's always been weird to me because it's like you could make $1 billion, and then it still goes up. Like there's no end goal, there's no incentive to like keep going. Like once you finish everything, it's over. So I'm not like opposed to the games, but I'm also in the mindset of like these are kill time games.
Yeah,
which is weird to be on a PS5, in my humble opinion. But especially coming from 2017 till now it's going on PS5. A little weird, but
console edition, man.
Hey, man, I will.
Something we don't know.
I'll definitely be getting at least 2 of those games and actually playing them. I'll play the roller coaster one and I'll play Tiny Tina, but I don't think I'll be doing UFC at all.
I think you're right. We're missing out on UFC.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get it, but I'm not gonna download it ever. It's just gonna exist as a you own it.
I own it,
but never download it ever. Never gonna have save data for that, to say the least. But other than that, in the basic bitch sprinkle of the news of the week, what else we got in the Discord?
Well, Mortal Kombat 2, the WB is moving ahead with it. The Mortal Kombat 2 movie, I should say. A sequel to the 2011 movie Mortal Kombat is moving forward with Jeremy Slater set to write. Slater most recently served as head writer on the upcoming Disney Plus series Moon Knight. So, I mean, with the ending of the most recent Mortal Kombat movie, you knew a sequel was going to be made.
I mean, that movie is very mid, to say the least. Like, the opening sequence of that movie, 10 out of 10. And then it immediately just goes from being amazing to being like, oh, is this what we're doing?
It's very cheesy, it's very campy, but I think that's what Mortal Kombat kind of is.
But, like, besides the cheesy and campiness, it introduced that new character for no reason.
Yeah, I think, we had a whole thing about that.
Yeah. It's ironic because I was killing time today on the way because I had some errands to run before the podcast. And I found the Funko Pops for that movie.
That guy.
Guess what? It was only him that was left over. All the other ones were sold out.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
No one wants that guy.
There's like Sub-Zero, Scorpion, I forget the other one was. There's one more. And then him. And I'm like, oh, look at that. Not selling.
Obviously, he's going to be the one left.
It also looked terrible. Like, not even to, like, front on Funko, but also fuck Funko. They just make too much shit now. Like, it's gotten to a point of, like, Jesus Christ.
It'll never stop.
It won't. It's like Pokemon now, but, like, they have Pokemon Funko Pops. Yeah. So it's, like, weird. I saw a Charizard one today, 10 inches. I was like, that's actually cool. That right there.
It was a tall Funko Pop?
Yeah, they make, like, big-ass ones. Like, if you go to Target and, like, back where the video games are, that back wall of, like, horror figures and shit, they'll sometimes have the big ones, and they're, like, 10 inches tall, and there was a Charizard one, and I was like, that's pretty cool, objectively. Don't want it, though. And then I went to, like, the regular toy section, and they had a Pidgeotto toy, and I was like, that's cooler! Because it flaps his wings.
Oh, we'll see.
When you push a button.
Now you're sold.
Yeah. I'm like, that's cool. This is dumb, but also I can see why people buy it. Maybe. But, yeah, man. I'm not excited for Mortal Kombat 2, to say the least. I mean, I feel like it's been long enough. If you haven't seen Mortal Kombat and you give a fuck, with the end credit scene, moving towards, so here comes the spoiler, give you 2 seconds to skip ahead like a minute, Johnny Cage.
Yeah. Who should have been there? He should have been the guy that no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
The new guy.
My thing is, if we're casting him right now, I think you do Mike the Mizanin, the Miz from WWE, because I think he's a very good actor, surprisingly, and he is Johnny Cage. His WWE persona is Johnny Cage. It would be perfect for him. It wouldn't necessarily be family friendly for WWE and like those type of people.
Neither was that movie.
Yeah, exactly. But like him being in it, being connected to WWE, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's not the most family-friendly thing, but also, like, I don't see anyone better in that role personally. So there's that. Maybe, like, Cody Rhodes from AEW, but you wouldn't recognize that. I think you know who The Miz is.
It could be... We didn't know who that new guy was.
True, but, like, I'm saying, like, people we know.
Okay.
Like, I feel like you know who The Miz is.
I've seen The Miz.
Yeah. And he looks like Johnny Cage. But then, like, Cody Rhodes, if I say that, you don't know who the fuck that
I
is.
know.
Yeah, exactly. Cody Rhodes would work. He's the guy from the Go Big Show, the blonde guy.
Okay.
He's an AEW wrestler.
Word.
Well, was. he's not in contract anymore. Technically, kayfabe, whatever. Wrestling. But yeah,
I know everything about wrestling.
I know you do.
I'm an expert on the subject.
What's your favorite wrestling move?
The fucking suplex bomb thing.
You could have just said suplex, and you would have been passable.
Swanton bomb.
Who does that?
The Hardy Boys?
Which one of the Hardy Boys?
Jeff?
Okay. And how do you spell boys and Hardy Boys?
B, etc., etc. So, like, we're good.
It's with the Z. Anyway,
well, I figured if you were asking me, it had to be different, but I wasn't sure.
But that's the thing. It could have been different, but it also couldn't have been different. And that
it could have been a trick, right?
See, because there's also the Hardy Boys.
But
books.
I should get credit for the move, knowing group did it, the person.
Yes.
That's a lot.
To be fair, that's a very specific. That's not necessarily a swanton bomb. It's actually a senton, but he calls it the swanton because it's Jeff.
So I should get more points.
Yeah, it's his personalized version of it. In which there was an interview that came out with him recently because he's older now, you know. And he was talking about that move back when he was younger. He used to like land on the people in a way where he would roll off of them, so it wouldn't hurt the person taking it as much. Now he's openly admitted to being like, "Nah, I just land on them now."
Fuck them.
Like just 240 pounds of 50 to 40-year-old man landing on you with the most conditioned hair and face paint, and you just gotta take it.
I respect him.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I don't.
He got fired.
I respect him even more.
Yeah. They fired him because one live show, he literally left through the crowd because he was done with it. And, they thought he was on drugs again. And they drug tested him, didn't wait for the results to come back. Then he got fired. So then the results came back. Guess what? Wasn't on drugs, wasn't drinking, nothing. So they preemptively fired him. And then recently, the Royal Rumble was this weekend. They tried to sign him to a WWE Legends contract so that he wouldn't go and compete with his brother Matt in AEW when his 90 days are up. So they tried to scoop him back in because they're like, oh, we fucked up.
So did he go with it?
Nope.
Because if I was him, I'd be like, no, fuck you guys.
I'm waiting for that 90 days to end, man. Get that Hardy Boy reunion. Ooh-wee.
I liked them. As someone who was on the very, very, very outside of the circle of wrestling, I always... Like in games and stuff, I always would like pick them and
Same.
stuff.
Them and the Dudleys. Those are my two teams. The Dudley boys were great. Brother Devon. Get the table.
I know some of those words. Yeah. I remember those.
Remember get the tables? It's like, Devon, get the tables! And then he would go get the table. They would do a thing through a table. That was their thing. And they wore glasses with a tape in the middle.
I feel like I vaguely remember these guys.
They were like huskier dudes, a white dude and a black guy. Yeah. They were like they were brothers.
We could be the new Dudleys.
We could. I'm not.
SB4Q.
We're the new Dudleys.
SB4Q4WW.
And get the controllers.
No, I'm not jumping through a controller.
We don't jump through it. We put people through them.
I paid for those. Those tables nobody paid for.
Subscribe to our Patreon so we can get controllers to put people through.
We'll just put them through the GS5 controller. It'll be so easy.
That would work. That would very much work.
We interrupt this program for an important news announcement.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Again. These companies got to stop acquiring shit in the middle of the week. That way.
Either that or we just got to record in the middle of the week. One of the two.
Yeah. So, I mean, we interrupt your programming again.
This week.
Breaking news.
Beep, 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 beep.
Apparently, in some of the biggest news of the week, you all know where I'm going with this. The New York Times acquired Wordle. They bought Wordle for a price in the low seven figures. The company said the game would initially remain free to new and existing players. I feel like we had to come back on here to break this huge news because we couldn't let Thursday come and not update the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, our Discord community is avid in the world of Wordle. Every
Yes.
single morning we see the Wordle, sometimes the Loodle, which is just a rip of Wordle, to be fair. Why didn't they buy Loodle as well? What's up with the New York Times being like that?
I don't
But
know. They feel like they have a level of class or something. I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's weird. We live in a world of acquisitions now, and there's
Yeah.
just more and more coming by the day,
By the
over
day.
and over and over again, including PlayStation
Oh
and
yeah.
their most recent acquisition of Bungie.
Yes, yes. I am I'm reading here in lesser news that
Lesser
PlayStation has
news.
acquired Bungie for $3.6 billion. I guess that's
Yeah,
pretty important. So that happened.
yeah, man. Honestly, it's weird to me because I'm more lukewarm on this than I am for the Wordle one. like, like the Wordle one, I'm just like, oh, that kind of sucks because you know that it's going to become a pay to play model, whether it be like an app of 99
You know
cents or
it's
some
gonna
shit.
be a fucking app now.
Yeah. And that's fine, I get it, but like here's the thing, like the reason why Wordle is so fun is because it's one puzzle a day and it's the same puzzle for everybody.
Yeah.
From the point of view of buying it and then making it like its own app, it's going to be like probably multiple puzzles. It's going to be lingo. Like it's going to be lingo the game, which is fine. Don't get me wrong, but it's going to lose the appeal of what Wordle is, in my humble opinion. So I'm
Yeah.
more like disappointed in that. As far as PlayStation goes and Bungie, um, I'm not gonna say that I don't love this. It's one of those things where this whole acquisition shit is just like it is becoming almost not even a surprise anymore. It's becoming almost as less surprising as Fortnite reveals for character skins. Like it's just another week, another fucking acquisition. Like it's what it feels like as of this point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of getting to the point of being just like too much in my opinion. Um where everything's just going to be owned by the big boys. Um
Yeah.
Obviously one discussion that's being had is since the what's it called happened, the Microsoft acquisition of Activision Blizzard, people are suggesting that this is in retort or in remark to that, but like no.
Yeah, they said this was kind of already in the works, which would have
Yeah,
had to be
yeah,
already in the works.
there's no way that you're going to have something this big monetarily just like out of nowhere. It's obviously has to be in the works.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was sped up a bit because of what happened with Microsoft with Activision Blizzard, but at the same time I don't believe that that was the sole reason why it happened. This was
Right.
definitely something that was going to happen, and maybe when that was announced, they were like, okay, let's put it out now so that they know that we're not just sleeping on the clock, and
Right.
that's fine. That being said, Bungie themselves, really mainly only known for the Destiny franchise as far as the current moment.
Yeah.
And Destiny 2 is their big one right now, even though that game is so fucking old. It's still releasing DLC. There's new DLC this month. There's a whole new DLC chapter.
I didn't know DLC was still getting released for that game.
Yeah, man. Even Destiny 1 did the same exact thing, where it just lived for so long by releasing small lore based chapters of DLC. And that's fine. It's better than what GTA 5 does leading into GTA Lines, to be fair. So here we are.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as Destiny 2 as a franchise, what was the number again of how much they bought Bungie for?
They bought Bungie for $3.6 billion, which is the highest amount Sony has paid for an acquisition.
I don't think that Destiny and that franchise is worth that money. And that's coming from a person who very much loved Destiny and loves Destiny 2 just doesn't really play it anymore. I don't know. It's weird to me, man. It's very, very weird to say the least.
Well, what I'm reading is it was more than just for Bungie. The strategy Sony has had in mind was to acquire a competent studio to bring in a steady stream of income while also being able to use their expertise in technology to share among other studios to grow Sony's efforts in the other multiplayer games. Because if we know Sony, they're mostly known for their big, sprawling narrative single player games. They're trying to expand their multiplayer infrastructure and games and stuff like that.
That makes sense.
I heard they're not even attempting to make it like exclusive as far as Destiny goes anyway.
Yeah.
Their plan is bigger than just buying Destiny.
Gotcha. I mean, that's cool and all, and I get it. I see where it's coming from, but I feel like that number is just so high for what they are. And that's not even to deter what they are. Like, I'm not trying to shit on them, but you look at the fucking number there that is for one company acquisition. That's insane.
Yeah.
Like you said, largest the PlayStation's ever done. Obviously, I'm pretty sure they've already come out and said that they're going to end up keeping Destiny 2 cross-platform, so that's going to be a thing. I'm curious to see what shooter/multiplayer game they'll do in general to like try and compete with Xbox in this way, because I feel like that's what this is kind of is. Like, they kind of need like a Fortnite, if that makes sense. Like, they need the Fortnite 2, but from Bungie, if that makes sense. Like, the same scale, the same playability, cross-platform, all that jazz, but exclude from, from Bungie. And I think they could definitely do it, because Destiny 2 is fucking amazing. Like, I just fell off of it because, it's too much to fucking play, you know? Too much to play.
The full quote, what I'm reading, says the motivate, because they said this isn't the last acquisition either, as far as Sony goes. And I know we already know it's not the last for Microsoft. The motivation behind Sony's acquisition of Bungie is to help boost their own abilities to make live service multi-platform games. Equally, Sony unlocks the potential to Bungie to strengthen its technical capabilities and the prospect of taking its games to movies and TV. The deal was in the works for the past 5 to 6 months. It's not a reaction to the Take-Two, Zynga, or Microsoft Activision deals. And Jim Ryan told us we should expect more when it comes to further PlayStation acquisitions.
What do you think the first acquisition after this we get is? Like, I know we were discussing it slightly in the Discord, so that's the only reason why I bring it up. Like, you brought up a decent lump sum of companies that could definitely, make their way to PlayStation. I think it was in the form of a meme.
Yeah, the meme is Terminator walking around this office building looking for this little girl. And the Terminator is labeled Sony, and the little girl is labeled From Software, Konami, Square Enix, Kojima Productions.
I feel like Square Enix is the best option for them if they were going to acquire another studio for an insane amount of money.
And that's what I was saying in the chat. Like I said, I could see them buying From Software. They have all those Demon Souls-esque games, which I think they already put out the remaster when PS5 came out. I could see From going there if that was on the table, obviously. I honestly don't think Square wants to sell. Obviously, I don't know anything, but no. What I said was, if they had to choose a place to go, I think they would choose Sony over Microsoft if they decided to sell.
Yeah.
Given the relationship they've had. Wait, what did I say?
Well, they got Marvel shit, don't they?
Yeah, I said Square? That's why.
Oh,
that's why if they were
chat, sorry.
Huh?
I didn't read the chat. Sorry.
No, I got you. I said that's why if they were to sell, it would have to make sense with the ideals and structure that they have. Microsoft wouldn't make sense if they just wanted money and support, but Sony has the ecosystem support and the loyalty that's existed since PS1. plus Sony owns Insomniac, which has Spider-Man and Wolverine. Combine that with Square, who has Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, and you have a perfect marriage.
True.
On top of the fact that like that's the primary system for Final Fantasy games, Kingdom Hearts.
True.
And they're a
point.
Japanese-based company, and Microsoft doesn't have a big presence in Japan. So I think they'd go to Sony over Japan if they sold. Sony over Microsoft, I mean.
Yeah, I feel like Square is the safest choice if we're going to be playing the guessing game, that is. Coming out of left field, though, what do you think Nintendo does to get into this conversation, if they even do try to get into the conversation of big studios making their way into Nintendo?
I don't think they do. I don't think they get involved. Nintendo has always been just, we're going to do our thing. I think if Nintendo were to buy anybody, I could see them buying indie companies, like the ones who are making serious waves. Like we just had the Yacht Club conversation. I could see Nintendo buying Yacht Club, and next thing you know, you got like a 3D platformer starring Shovel Knight, his own game. Like I could see them fitting in that ecosystem.
Open world Shovel Knight,
right? And Shovel
Breath
Knight,
of the Shovel Knight,
the Shovel Knight, and he already has an amiibo. I think he's the only indie with an amiibo, and he's an assistant fighter in Smash Brothers.
That's fucking insane. And I've never personally played Shovel Knight just because I've never really dove into indie IPs. And Yacht Club, at least from this week, and we'll talk about it next week on the podcast, at least because it happened yesterday with the new game being announced by them via Kickstarter. We'll talk about it next week. They're starting to interest me a little bit. I'm getting the itch to play some indie games. So some indies might be making their way to Figure Friday streams soon.
Yeah.
But
if I had to think bigger than indie, the only company I could see like them being like, all right, let's finally do it, would be Sega.
Yeah,
and
that's
where
I was kind of
officially Nintendo at that point.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to lead in that direction. They mentioned it slightly on, it may have been X-Play this week, that Nintendo would definitely try and make that play, but I also don't know if I agree with that. But I feel like they have a really good working relationship currently, like with the new Genesis thing on the online. Like that's a nice, what's the word I'm looking for? Stepping stone into acquisition, but also, in my opinion, I feel like it'd be cool if they just announced a partnership. Like the acquisition as a whole is very interesting to me, where it's like we want to own this company as opposed to just being like we want to work exclusively with them, you know, like an exclusivity deal. Yeah, I like that idea more than completely acquiring a company.
But that's why I kind of got to go with my initial statement of I don't think they do anything, because you got to think like you can't run like Yakuza, those games on a Switch, not to the extent that they've been running.
True.
You can't run Persona 5, well, you probably can. I don't know why that hasn't come to Switch yet.
But you run Apex, which is really surprising, but here we are.
But it's like to the level they've been at, I think it would either have to be a partnership, or they could only buy certain, like they only have the rights to certain things. Like maybe the new Sonic is exclusive to the Nintendo consoles, but everything else, like the big budget AAA Yakuza games, is still going to be on PlayStation and Xbox and stuff like that. I could honestly see what I really would like is for Nintendo, and I guess it wouldn't be a trade. I would like Microsoft, not like, but I could see Microsoft making a play for Sega in order to get a footprint in Japan. And Sega's a cheaper company than like a Square is.
True.
So I think to get Microsoft an edge in Japan, they should buy Sega. And I could see Nintendo. I want Nintendo to buy Rare from Microsoft. So then you bring Banjo-Kazooie back to Nintendo. I don't know. Like, I think that makes more sense to me.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I mean, that's definitely that makes more sense. Well, I like those ideas more. Yes.
Nintendo gets Banjo. Now Xbox has Sonic.
Yeah.
And Nintendo and Microsoft already have a great working relationship. So they're probably down to just like, they're not gonna not let Sonic games still come to Switch.
Yeah. True. Yeah. GG. But needless to say, all of these acquisitions are fucking insane, and there's more to come. It's just when they will come, I guess, is the very obvious question. I'm 80% sure we get another one by next week, and it's going to suck because we're gonna have to do this again.
It's gonna be worse. It's gonna happen on Thursday.
Yeah, it's gonna be the day that we actually release the podcast, which is the fucking annoying part. But to each their own. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, can we get a break, motherfuckers? Like,
apparently not.
The answer is no.
It's funny because like when this happened, I was like, oh, well, we can't not. By the time we do wait till next week, it'll be really old news at that point.
Yeah,
it's too big of a news day to not put it into this week's podcast.
I agree. Yeah, but yeah, we wanted to hop on and add that little bit of extra goodness at the end of this podcast. This is probably not at the end. This is probably before the questions. Now that I'm thinking.
No, it's in the middle of the news.
Shit. I don't know where I am right now. I've been playing too much Pokemon.
You're in Pokemon land.
That pretty much, it feels like it.
You're Alpha Chris.
Definitely not, dude. I have not gone for enough alpha Pokemon just because I don't like them enough. I'm like, I'm like, oh, they're bigger. Whoopsie woo. Wow, who cares? We'll talk about it next week, to say the least. But yeah. So I guess back to future or past Ant and Chris.
Yeah, back to past us from future us. But by the time listeners hear this, it's also past us. Back to pastor us.
Time's a construct.
It is. Back to the future.
Gonna go back in time.
There you go.
80s ass shit. All right.
Go.
Fucking A. I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm just spewing nothing as of this point. Oh, shit.
These damn acquisitions.
Yeah. It's a time, dude.
It's only, we just got to February. This should happen Monday, which was the 31st. All this should have happened in January.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the year.
Meanwhile, people still can't get PS5s, but fucking PlayStation's over here fucking spending God knows how much money on Destiny 2. For fuck's
about
sake.
Infrastructure, Chris.
Eat my infrastructure ass.
It's like the fact that it's only January is crazy to me. When you think about it like that, all this happened in a month. The top of the year,
dude. Just wait till we get to like Summer Games Fest. It's just gonna be fucking insanity.
Yeah, so
Jeff Keighley's gonna get acquired.
Jeff Keighley was acquired by Amazon. Apple bought PlayStation. Everything's nuts.
Yo, I will jump off a roof, a very low roof, if Apple buys PlayStation.
They got the money.
I'm gonna come at them like this. Little bitch. How dare you?
Give it back.
Shit.
Next day, like Apple releases PlayStation after threat by young man with shaky weapon.
Dude, watch Apple buy PlayStation and then them just start releasing PlayStation 3s again.
Of course they
Like,
would.
because they're just like, oh yeah, this is the best we got. Here you go, guys. And then they're still making games for PS5.
Mm-hmm.
But the PS3 is what's being made. This place
Speaking of that, did you? I got I looked on Twitter today, and they actually put PS4 as they did it back in the Sony's website. You can buy PlayStation 4 now.
Yeah. A restock of the PS4.
They restocked PS4s because they can't get the 5s out in time. I'm a triple down on this. This is going to be the longest generation. I don't think we get the next consoles or the next iteration of games until like 2030 or close to it. They still haven't fully gone in on this generation yet because everything is released also like on PS4 or somewhere else. They haven't hit the stride of this generation, and we're coming up on year 3.
True. I mean, with the world being the way it is and current situations, obviously shit gets pushed back. So there's a part of me that wants to say that the PlayStation 5 generation hasn't even started yet. Like the console, yeah, technically it's out, but also no.
You don't really need it though.
Yeah.
The only thing you can't play on PS4 is Ratchet and Returnal.
Yeah.
That's it.
And no offense to Returnal, but I don't think that's a game that has replayability. Ironically, with it being a game about replaying stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if I were to go play Returnal again and just put the time and hours into it and beat it, I would never touch that game ever again in my life.
Well, yeah. No.
Ever. Legitimately. But I'm at the point right now where I'm like, I love that game. Probably perfect PlayStation 5 game ever. I mean, at the moment, considering. And I'm fine not beating it. I'm fine not trying to beat it. I'm fine just having it owned and playing it the 4 to 5 hours that I did. Because I'm literally about to just go on YouTube and watch a fucking ending explained for it. So I legitimately don't have to play it. Because fuck, I'm done. And then Ratchet's okay. It's great, but it's also okay.
Right.
But did you ever beat Ratchet?
No, of course not.
I thought you at least beat Ratchet, man. I'm not gonna lie.
I beat Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
I mean, that's justified. That's because that's a fucking. Also, that's a short game, so it's kind of in your wheelhouse to get that done easily. I mean, so
certain games I'll stop everything for. Like I did that when the Spider-Man PS4 came out too.
Yeah.
I kind of just was like, I'd been a beeline to that game, and that's all I did was play that game when I had a free moment.
Are you requesting off for Horizon to just beeline that?
I don't know, maybe.
I'm still debating it. I don't know yet.
But as we said, had to come let you guys know back to a regularly scheduled program in the past. Peace.
Goodbye and hello.
And farewell and good day.
And good night.
And good afternoon.
And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good morning, and good night.
Yeah, nice. Bye, everyone. Or hello when you get back.
Yeah,
You're
whatever this is.
Yeah, bye.
We'll see you again next week for this, again, for your regularly scheduled acquisition.
Yeah, whenever that is. Whenever
Stay
Amazon
away, Apple.
buys AMC movies, we'll let you know.
Stay away, Apple. You motherfuckers.
Apple has bought all apples in the world.
That's fine by me. Fuck apples.
All the apples in grocery stores are going to be these white, still apples with a bite taken out of them that track your location. Bye, everyone. Peace.
Johnsky.
Moving on. The Steam Deck has officially But it has officially been announced by Steam that it is being launched on February 25th. They start sending invites shortly after 10 a.m. on February 25th Pacific time. So on Eastern time, that's what, 3 hours later. So it's like 1. Mm-hmm. Order emails are sent in the same order the reservations were made.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Me too.
I have, I think, the mid-tier storage option for mine.
Mm-hmm.
It's either mid-tier or low-tier. I can't remember what I picked. I just knew I didn't need the big one. I didn't need it. So I'm excited to get my hands on it. I'm excited to play some Steam games on the go, get back into some old games that I own and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And it'll be cool to like show it off on the channel and like talk about it and see if it's cool or not. Because if it's not cool, it's not cool, and we'll talk about it. I highly doubt it.
I can't imagine a world where this is not cool.
Yeah,
it would be very surprising. Crazier things have happened, so I'm not ruling it out.
I could see there being issues, not major issues, but at least issues at the start. Like things happening like, oh, you can't do this and this at the same time. Like if you try to run 2 games, it'll crash it or some shit. Like I could see simple shit like that being a thing. And like that's obvious. It's always going to have bugs at the start because you can't play test everything.
Right.
And everybody has different situations.
But the widespread of like clips they've released of people playing this thing in the different kind of games. Yeah. Like once I saw God of War, I was like, okay. Yeah. If they got that to pull that off, then I can't see a lot of things not working, at least in time, working on that thing.
Yeah, man. 100%. Yeah. After that. I don't know much about this because you just posted it, and I was like, please no. Apple is rumored to be working on its own video game console, according to Xbox 2 podcast.
Let me see. Yeah, there really isn't a bunch of like news on it. That's all it.
It's just a little rumor coming from Apple that they're making a console. I joked and I was like, the only game that's gonna be on it is Flappy Bird and Temple Run, just because like I don't. No offense to Apple, because like here's the thing, I'll shit on Apple every day of the week because of the way that they kind of treat their customers. They treat them like they're stupid because they have technology to do things better, but they won't because they want to make the most money. I respect it and I understand the play. You don't need to be in the video game space. Like, it's not a space that you're needed. Like, I don't think you would benefit the space by being in it either. That's another thing. It's like, is there money to be made? Hell yeah.
Of course.
But I don't think that they're going to bring, like, Apple exclusive games that are going to, like, be mind fucking bending, you know? And I could also be wrong. But, like, they have enough money that they could bring in a studio that's, like, Apple exclusive and make some great AAA games. But I'm also like, I'm not in the mindset of ever wanting to buy an Apple-related console.
Apparently, and I think this is what I heard. I don't want to... Apple's one of the people in talks along with Microsoft to get Activision. I think Facebook was trying to get them too.
Facebook I can understand because Facebook isn't necessarily trying to do their own thing for games just yet. Especially with, like, now they're Meta. They're not even Facebook anymore. Like, I can understand that because it's like that's something that they're actually wanting to do as opposed to Apple, who's most definitely in it for the money. They're not in it for the creative expansion of it, you know? As opposed to Facebook. Like, here's the thing. Mark Zuckerberg, Sweet Baby Ray's and all, I'm 100% sure it's not just the money that he's going after for this. Like, he definitely has an interest in this shit and wants to move forward because it's an interesting thing to him. So, sure.
I think Apple, if anything, would just hire a bunch of people who are interested in it. Yeah. And just make this a new division of their company. And be like, yeah, we don't care about it, but you people care about it. So make this a thing that we can push.
Then take a bite out of the apple and throw it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
but a console, like, I don't know. More needs to be revealed, obviously, but, I don't know. Like, I don't even know what that would be like.
I'd love for them to do an exclusive VR console. Apple exclusive VR.
Well, I think they're working on a VR headset. Yeah. I'm not sure if it's Apple stuff exclusively.
I would love it if it was that, and like they don't even try to do regular games. Like it's specifically this is a console made for VR, exclusively for VR. Because that would be something interesting to see from them in general. Because, like, yeah, they can go and make their own console and have, like, Fortnite and whatever, all the, third-party games that are everywhere on it.
Yeah.
Sure. But if they were to just take a stance and be like, we are really interested in VR, here's our VR headset that is, like, minimalistic, sleek, stylish, not extremely expensive probably, though. And here is the console that goes with it, a box that is dedicated for this headset. I think that'd be perfect for them.
Apple. This was reported 9 hours ago. Apple is working on a mixed reality headset. It's a VR and AR headset. They are working on it. I'm not sure if it's Apple exclusive, but it is a thing.
I would say do that, make that, and then
maybe
make the console to
maybe
power.
people are mixing that up. Maybe this is the console that people are talking about.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like Apple doesn't need to be in the video game space. We've already seen that they don't really know what they're doing when it comes to video games with, like, the Fortnite lawsuit. So, like, you already don't know how to treat a company and how they're running their own games. So I don't think that you wanting to have a console that's going to have games like that on it is going to go well, unless it's exclusively for exclusive games. But
right.
I don't think that's going to go well either.
The company is going to show their own VR and AR headsets in the end of this year, and they will be on the market in 2023.
Okay. Yeah, man, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of that, if I'm being honest. But who am I?
Here we are.
Yeah. Last but not least,
they showed the official trailer of the Halo series.
Yeah.
Coming up on, well, it's going to be on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, it was just posted in our Discord by CLD about 40 minutes ago from when we started recording. So
yeah,
I don't think either of us have watched it yet.
No, I have not watched it. I saw it was out earlier.
Yeah.
I just never went and watched it. But cool. It looks, yeah, they had pictures of it. It looks pretty good.
The stills look cool. The original teaser looked cool. I'm not sure on what this series is going to be. Like, if it's going to follow the games at all. If it is, cool. I've never played them, so I'll at least get some of that. But at the same time,
I'm not too big on the Halo lore. Like, I've played the games, but I've never really paid attention to the lore or whatever. You know what I mean?
I feel that. Yeah, other than that, I don't think there's much else to talk about in the news. There is a game that I want to check out, and I kind of want to do it either on stream or, like, both of us together. There's a new VR game that just came out recently called The Wanderer, or Wanderer without the. And it looks really awesome.
What's it on?
It's on Steam.
Okay.
It just came out 2 days ago. And it's exclusively built in VR from the ground up. And it looks fucking amazing. Like, it has this almost like sci-fi feel to it where you're in like this post-apocalyptic world and you find this watch that on the top of it's like almost like this Ask Jeeves looking character and he's talking to you, and you find items around what is presumed to be your uncle's house that you put in the bottom of the watch. It scans it and then it teleports you to that location with different things that you can use to solve puzzles in other worlds that are found with other items. So, like, there's a specific part in this gameplay that I saw where you pretty much go to Nikola Tesla's apartment and you're working with him to, like, harness electricity. And there's a fishing rod there because I guess Nikola Tesla fished or something. And you need to bring the fishing rod back with you by holding it in this hand, hitting the button, and going back to your uncle's apartment. Then you need to fish for a frog by using a cockroach on the ground to have an actual frog. Then there's a little toy frog that you need to put in your watch, go to a different world, which is like an Aztec-like looking area that worships frogs, pretty much. And
as you do,
you take this frog with you, and you lick the frog for psychedelics.
Right.
And then you can solve a puzzle that is in that world. But you need to go to 3 different worlds in order to get all the different things.
It's like a full-length game, or is it like some kind of experience?
It's like a full-length game.
In VR?
In VR. On Steam.
That
I really want to
sounds
try
fun.
it and play. It's $40 right now, so I'm a little hesitant. Cause it's
also, we can split it.
It's up there for a VR. I also have to figure out how to do it because it's through Steam, and I haven't played any games through Steam yet. So that's a thing. Apparently you can do it through the AirLink feature. I don't know how.
We'll figure it out.
So there's that. But even if, like, I buy it on mine, I think there's a thing you can do on Steam called family sharing. I know that Anna and John do it. Thank you, Anna, for supporting Patreon.
Yes.
We'll get to that in a second. But fucking, there's a way to do that, so I could like share it to your Steam, and then we would both be able to play it. And
Okay, all right.
But I don't know how.
That's what I'm saying. We'll figure it out. We got time.
But I really want to check it out because it looks really fucking cool. And it's very explorative, and it kind of has like a weird feel to it, almost like a thriller, slightly, like where it's kind of scary but not really at the same time. So I kind of want to dive into that a bit. But yeah, moving on to the section of the podcast every week that we go to our Discord, which you can find in the link of any of our bios on our social media. You can join up, read the description that says, "Don't be a dick." Then in turn,
don't do it.
Don't be a dick.
Just don't.
You can join in on the conversation. We have a conversation almost every day, pretty much as of this point, about different things, whether it be Pokemon Arceus, whether it be challenging Ant to different things on the OG streams,
Sons of
or
bitches.
even Gundam as of this point. So we have everything in that Discord, and we have a lot of stuff to talk about. This week we have a couple questions, I think, right? One or two?
A lot of Pokemon-inspired stuff going on. Let's start with our homie Frankie in the Discord, who says, which type of Pokemon did you start your games with? Grass.
Always grass.
Always grass.
I don't know why it's always been grass.
I said that. Bulbasaur, of course. That's my homie.
Let's run through it.
Well, I don't go that far.
Well, here's the thing. We'll see what you would pick based on designs. I'll pull up a picture of the starters, and then we'll go through it. Then I can do a little bit of visual stuff on the video version of the podcast.
Yeah.
1 second as I pull this up. Images. Cool. So we got our first set. We got Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle.
Gotta go Bulbasaur.
I feel like Bulbasaur is objectively the most slept on and the most shat on for no reason.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
Bulbasaur, man. Bulbasaur's the shit.
Like, I understand Squirtle Squad because, like, the glasses and shit. Like, I heard someone made that argument recently. I'm like, okay, cool, but, like, that wasn't a thing when the game came out.
Right.
You know, like, the Squirtle Squad wasn't a thing until the show.
Yeah.
Which was a little bit later, to be fair. But, like, it's one of those things where it's like, you couldn't put sunglasses on them in the game. You know? Like, the fuck. Charmander. I feel like that's the basic bitch choice. That's the Starbucks of
like everybody's
this generation.
Charmander,
yeah, because you want the dragon that's not a dragon that can't fly, which is like that's the thing. Like he's mid as fuck because he can't fly. Like you have wings, you dumb hoe. Like you're a chicken. You're a glorified chicken.
Damn, these Charmander people are gonna come at you hard now.
That's the thing, man. Like I've said this from when I was a kid. Bulbasaur is the objective best. He's like a dog frog type thing with like a bulb on his back. Then Ivysaur is cool as shit because he just looks like an anime protagonist.
And Venusaur's just a beast.
Venusaur is dope as shit because I don't know if you've seen
Solar Beam, bitch.
Solar Beam. The tree on his back is dope as shit. Also, the way he moves around is fun as shit because he's a toad. He actually hops. He doesn't walk.
Listen.
So that's like a giant bounding toad. Like that's awesome. Next up was Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Totodile.
Okay, now, in the chat, I said I picked Totodile, which I did, but now that I'm looking at Chikorita, I picked... Alright, when I first played this game, I downloaded the Japanese ROM. So, like, before before it came to America, I downloaded... Because, you know, Pokemon craze was at an all-time high.
100%.
So once the ROM dropped, I was like, I have to play this. It's in Japanese and everything. I'm just clicking through menus trying to play it. I picked Totodile on the ROM. When I got my own copy, I picked Chikorita.
Hell yeah. That's here's the thing. Typhlosion is, I would say, the best fire type starter, besides one other, which we'll get to in a second. But I went with Chikorita as well, because I think Chikorita is the coolest looking one. Like the leaf on his head that he uses to whip out like the what's it called? The leaf blade or whatever.
What's that, Razor Leaf?
Yeah, Razor Leaf, that. I always thought that was cool as shit. I remember watching the anime before I got the game and seeing the Chikorita do that in there. And I was like, that's cool as shit. And then, like, even with Cyndaquil with the fire back, it's cool, but it's not always on. And when he doesn't have the fire back on, he looks dumb.
It's like a little pathetic little...
And then Totodile just looks like a crackhead. like, like, there's nothing wrong with Totodile. I think Totodile's second pick and then Cyndaquil's last in my mind, but still. Next up, you don't know these at all, do you?
Yeah, at this point, I have no hat in this.
So we got Torchic, the firebird type that turns into a Blaziken, which is a firebird with legs that kicks. It's a fighting fire type.
I like that.
Then we got Trico, which is the grass type. I can't remember what his secondary type is, now that I'm thinking about it. I don't think it was flying. I could be wrong. But he evolves into like a giant lizard with a giant like tree for a tail. Mm-hmm. And then you got Mudkip, which is the ground water type.
Derpiest looking water Pokemon.
And he turns into a Swampert, which is like a giant like... I don't even know how to compare it to anything. There's no comparison, to say the least. But he's a mud guy. Okay. Like he like uses ground type water, which is mud.
Got it.
So I picked Trico for this game. This is one of my favorite games for Ruby and Sapphire. Love this game. Trico, 100%.
Trico gang.
He also is the most swag. Like there's that gif of him.
He just looks like he don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's up on a tree and he sticks like a little twig in his mouth and he's just like, "Fuck you." He just crosses his arms like.
No, it's not the same gif.
No, it's a little bit lower. I think I sent it. One more.
There he is.
Dude, he's got so much fucking swag. He oozes swag.
He does. It's
so
oozing.
There's that. Next up, Turtwig, Chimchar, and Piplup.
Yeah, at this point, you're talking different language. I kind of at least recognize them and heard those names.
100%.
Now I know nothing now.
I picked Turtwig because Turtwig turns into Torterra, which is in the Pokemon movie, Detective Pikachu, those giant islands that they're on.
Okay.
That's what that is.
Okay.
Dope as shit. Chimchar just turns into Infernape, which is just a big monkey on fire. Yeah. And then Piplup turns into a penguin, like an emperor penguin.
An emperor penguin. Yeah. He gains royalty.
Literally that. Like, but Turtwig, 100%. Now, this is the one that I'll say that I don't like.
All right.
We got Oshawott, which is in the newest game, Snivy, and Tepig. I don't like any of these.
I'm looking at their designs.
He look dumb. Like Oshawott, if I have to pick, but Snivy looks dumb. And then Tepig, he turns into Embor, which is like, okay.
I get it, Embor.
Yeah.
Didn't think.
It's fine. I'm picking Oshawott for that one. I'll give Water type some love there.
See, I'm looking at it like I would have picked the little pig.
I mean, that's the thing. It's a good... I don't think this is the most mid of all of them. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the weakest generation. Like, all of them are like, eh.
All right.
In my opinion. Mm-hmm. Next up, we got Froakie, the frog, Chespin, and Firefox, which I can't remember the name. Fennekin, I think. But the Firefox turns into like a witch.
An internet browser.
It turns into like a witch, like a sexy witch.
What?
It's weird. Yeah, she looks Digimon-esque.
So that fox turns into a fox.
She looks like she's fuckable. Like it's one of those Pokemon where it's like the people in the boardroom were like, we're getting a little horny now.
Right.
Yeah.
When are we going to please ourselves?
He's Greninja.
Oh, that's a Greninja?
Yeah, he turns into Greninja.
Oh, that's the winner.
Yeah, 100%. Greninja is in the movie. He's in fucking Smash.
Yeah.
He's in Pokemon Unite. Like, he's the winner. Mm-hmm. Next up, we got my boy, Rowlet. Litten.
It's Litten.
Yeah, it's a little cat. He's the one who turns into Incineroar from Smash.
Yeah.
And then this fucking little... I don't even know.
Seal?
Dog seal thing. I don't even know the name.
His name is Dog Seal right now.
I don't even know. But I'm going with my boy Rowlet because he turns into a fucking owl that uses a bow and arrow from his wing.
But what if you didn't know that before picking? Like, you know that now.
If I didn't know that, I'd still pick him because I don't like cats. No offense to Miles. And then this stupid water type looks dumb.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't have picked the water.
The second best is the cat, objectively.
Yeah.
But it's just a cat until you get to the final evolution where he becomes a WWE superstar.
Yeah. See, so, I'm spoiled because I've seen the end. Like, I didn't know he became Incineroar.
Mm-hmm. Next up is the Sword and Shield guys, the last of the evolutions. We got Grookey, the grass type, turns into a giant ape who plays the drums.
All right, that wins.
Yeah. Score Bunny, which just turns into a larger bunny. It looks like Lola Bunny that kicks around a fireball in Pokemon Unite. And then Sobble, which turns into... I don't know the name of the final evolution, but there's a Mega Evolution with Sobble where he's on a sniper tower of water, and his finger turns into a sniper rifle, and he shoots people.
Wow, they went for it on that one.
But the winner is Grookey. We are a Grookey gang here. Grass, overall, a couple waters sneak in. But fire is always either mid-tier or just too basic, I think.
I kind of agree.
Not to be that guy. And then Pikachu and Eevee is from Let's Go of those, which we don't count.
You pick it. Yeah.
But
It's funny how they have them there.
I mean, it makes sense, but it's also one of those things where I'm like, I don't even like Pikachu. I don't like Pikachu. I'm gonna say it. I don't like him.
If you give me that choice, I'd go Eevee because I have more options as to where I go later in the evolutions.
100%. And then also, here's the thing. I don't like Pikachu. I think Raichu is better. Like, Raichu looks cool as shit. And then fucking Pikachu in the show didn't want to be a Raichu? You didn't want to be cool? Okay. Fine.
You didn't want to be cool?
You don't want to be cool.
Didn't they like strap Pikachu to like a table and attach those things to his cheeks?
Because they were going to use like the Thunderstone one or some shit. They're going to stick it up his butt to make him evolve. Like, what do you think they do with those stones? To like,
they just open his mouth, put it in there, and put a piece of tape over his mouth.
It's like a fucking suppository. But yeah, Grass Gang for life, man. Not to like...
Grass Gang for life.
It's one of those things where it's like, I feel like you have to be a specific type of person to like grass type Pokemon. That too. But like, I feel like the grass type Pokemon just always have more character and like are also cuter, not to even front. Like, yeah, Squirtle's cool, but like Bulbasaur is a 4-legged creature that is fucking amazing. Anyway, sorry.
Gotta love Bulba.
My hill that I'm dying on.
I'm with you on that hill.
What do we got next? I think we only got one question else, but from Ryan recently. I could be wrong.
No. CLDS. What was the last game you went to a midnight release of?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3.
What year was that?
I was in high school, like 2012, I think. It was before my senior year. It was the year before like all of my friends left because they were all seniors. That was my problem in high school. Is I always made friends with people who were like a year above me, and then I would be alone, pretty much. Yeah. Like, ironic, because that's still kind of what's going on to this day. Like, all of my friends are older than me, objectively, but like, y'all aren't leaving in theory. So at least not until we're like, you know,
I'm about to say, I don't know. I left 6 times tonight, so
different. But
yes,
it's one of those things where like, I don't know, man. That was the last one that I think I took seriously, if I'm being honest, because there was like wristbands and everything. You had to get in line. You had to have a wristband that you got when you pre-ordered. Like, that was the before times. Like, the internet existed, but like they didn't really care.
Yeah.
Like, it was one of those things where they weren't really like, you know.
Internet's not like the internet is now.
Yeah. Like, with GameStop now, it's like you pre-order, you just walk in, you give them your phone number. Back in the day, it was like, you either need to have this fucking receipt or your wristband, or you aren't getting your game.
Them receipts, man. It was just like, here's your receipt, staple it to your literal ass.
Yeah.
And don't pull it off until it's time. I used to put that shit like in my wallet and be like, all right. And I always make sure it's still in there. Like, I can't lose this.
Which was weird, too, because if you did lose it, they would just look it up.
Yeah.
So, like, they made it seem like it was this big deal, but it wasn't. And then it just slowly disappeared into, like, obscurity.
Because everybody can just walk in and do this now.
Yeah, 100%. I don't even do that. I just give them my number.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh, okay. Which is another thing that pissed me off with Pokemon Arceus. I walked in, I'm like, hey, there are 2 pre-orders. Take the pre-order from one of the games and put it on the same game because Ryan's in Virginia. Guy's like, oh, okay, so you just need 1 copy? And I'm like, yes. Put the 5 from that one on this. Didn't do it.
He didn't do it.
Didn't do it.
So what did he do?
He just charged me the regular price. Minus my 5, obviously.
Right.
And I was pissed. And I was like, you gotta be fun. But I'm also like, I'm just going home. I have to stream. Or, well, I had to play D&D and then I stream. Either way, fucking bullshit. But yeah.
Word. For me, I actually put it in the Discord.
Yeah.
Smash Brothers Brawl, which was 2008. I was 21.
For the Wii.
I was 21 years old.
That game.
It was a good game. Worse Smash Brothers, but good game at the time. I was at a house party the day it came out, the evening right before midnight, and it was from one of my coworkers. We were over there just drinking and shit. And this is not the Ant you see before you. This is Ant with 0 relationship, 0 responsibilities, and I just got my apartment a year before.
Nice.
So I'm just out here like, we should have been doing the pod then.
I
You want
would've
to talk
been.
about shit getting done? Shit would have gotten done. There would have never been a time where I'm like, yeah, I can't, man. Or hold on,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like,
I would have been saying that because I would have been in high school needing to do homework.
oh yeah. So I guess there's no way to
Sorry,
find a
Aunt, I
happy
have
medium.
an essay due.
Fuck that. Let's go drink some shit and record.
I've been thinking about that slightly as of late. If I was in my current mindset as I was back in high school, I would be so much more like that. Like, fuck this shit. Like, I'm not doing homework. Fuck you. Like, straight up. Like, the bullshit they made us do in high school. You think about that now. That was so much unnecessary stress.
How old were you in 2008?
I don't know. Math.
All right. That was 14 years ago.
I was in middle school,
What?
I think. Yeah, right? I would have been in middle school. Yeah, I think so.
So how old are you? 26?
Currently, I believe.
14 years. So yeah, you're like 14 years ago. You were 12?
Yeah. So it's like
Oh,
early.
nah, we wouldn't have been doing shit together.
No, we wouldn't.
Because I'd have been like, this little fuck, I'm not doing shit with him.
Yeah. I had a fucking coconut head bowl cut as of that point, dude. I looked like I was from Ned's Declassified.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
You're like,
I didn't
what?
have people in my life that had culture.
Back then, like, you want to do a podcast? I'm like, what?
Fucking coconut looking
This
motherfucker.
fucking little white boy want to do a podcast with me. Like,
Wearing
the
my
fuck?
fucking guitar shirts and shit.
Now I'm just like, yo, where's my white boy at so we can do the podcast?
Where's he at, yo?
Where's this kid? But no, yeah, I was 21. We was at this house party. We were having a good old time, and then I remembered, like, one of my friends was there. Shout out to Jay. He was like, "Yo, don't you got Smash Brothers come out tonight?" I was like, "Oh yeah," and we're just living it up. So it was like 11:30. Let's just say. I'm like, "Yo, let's just go get it." So we're just don't drink and drive. We just made our way to GameStop.
There might have been 4 wheels involved. Might have been none.
Might have been 4 wheels ignition or vehicle, but we made our way there. And then this is back when, like, it's 08, so midnight releases are like a huge deal.
Yeah,
so
there's
just
lines and
mad
shit.
people out there. They had like a little event. They had a little music playing. And
Yeah.
everybody's talking about Smash Brothers. And I'm just like, yeah, man, yeah, Smash Brothers, yeah, let's get it. So they bring us in. I get my Smash Brothers. We get back in the car, go back to the party.
What car? You went into a car?
We made our way back to the party. And
That moment when you try,
yeah, right.
and then you immediately give yourself up.
Fuck it. I'm past the what's it called? The where it's been too long and you
Yeah.
can't convict me of shit.
Statute of
Yes,
limitations.
I'm past the statute at this point. Get back to the party, continued partying, drinking and everything. I think Frankie asked in the chat, like, did y'all play it? I was like, nah, it wasn't.
You're just looking at it,
I'm just like, yeah.
using it as a coaster.
This will be
and
great
shit.
tomorrow and I hate life. When I wake up and hate everything.
Yeah, I feel that.
It wasn't that kind of party. Like, there was no Wii at that party, so I couldn't even play it if I wanted. It was the kind of party where, like, if I would have walked in with that, I'm like, the fuck are you? Get that shit. It's not. No. It wasn't the gamer crowd. Even though, like, you never been a gamer at a non-gamer crowd. It's like, I wouldn't be mad if I could play this
Oh
right
yeah,
now, though.
literally in college, dude. I used to go over to my buddy's Yanni's house, and he had a fucking, I forget, it was like PlayStation 4 at the time, and we would, meet up before we went out to the bars when I probably shouldn't have because I did not have the money to go out to bars, but I still did. And like, if it wasn't a bar night, it was like a house party night. He'd invite, like, his sister went to Drexel, so like she would bring like a bunch of chicks over and
Nice.
stuff, and like I would just be there. And this is when I was fresh out of a relationship, so I'm still sad boy shit. So I'm just sitting in
But
the
that's
corner.
the best time, though. to
No,
do
I'm in
it.
sad boy shit.
Alright.
Like sad
Fresh,
boy,
fresh.
like
out.
super fresh,
The supermarket.
super fresh, not super fly. Not
Sponsored
for a
by
white
Super
guy.
Fresh.
And I'm just like sitting there, and he's got like FIFA, and I hate soccer. Not like, and I hate to be that guy, but I don't like it. And I'm just playing
You're allowed to
FIFA
not like it.
so much to avoid any human contact and talking. And then I'll
Because
see
you're
like
in your sad bubble right now.
exactly, and then I'll see one of my buddies go outside, and like I'll just be like, oh, he went outside. Pause game, go out and talk to them for a second. Human interaction. Maybe 1 or 2 chicks are outside smoking a cigarette. Maybe I'll take a drag of one or whatever. Go back inside FIFA. Oh, we're playing beer pong? Cool. I'll be on this guy's team. Cool. Shit talk. Back to FIFA.
FIFA was like your safe corner.
Literally, yes. Because I remember the thing was, like, and this is another fun story. There was one time where I didn't FIFA. I was getting out of the sad boy shit, and they brought a bunch of chicks. And I'm like, okay, here's the thing that's happening. Whatever. We're experiencing life. And there was this one chick. And, like, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with her. But she was blitzed. Like, beyond compare. And, like, she's sitting next to me, and I'm just trying to, like, relax. And she comes at me, and she's like, oh, my God, like, you just know how to listen. And you just listen to me when I talk. She just keeps talking and talking. Oh, man. And there's nothing wrong with that until she got a little bit over-sherry. And I was like...
What'd she say?
She's like, yeah, I just got done with my cancer treatments. And I'm like... I don't even know your name.
Oh, man.
I don't even know what your name is.
I feel you now. Because at that point, because you're just like, all right, now you could be into it to a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's certain words that will just kill a buzz immediately. So if you say something like that, it's just like, oh, never mind.
And I was like, and I'm just trying to be nice because I'm like way too nice. Like way too nice. And she's like, he just hold my hand. And I'm like, I don't want to do this objectively. And then she just grabs it. And there's like a solid like 30 minutes where she's holding my hand. And I'm avidly ignoring her because I'm just like, get me out of this. And I'm like looking at my buddy Yanni who's placed it. I'm like, please, sir,
do something.
Please help me. Mm-hmm. And like, it just ended up. And then apparently she went into his room and started crying because I didn't want to go home with her. And I'm like, if I go home with you, this is not going to be a good time. First of all, no.
Okay, you know.
Because you're way too fucking drunk.
Oh, okay.
Like,
I was about to say objectively why.
Yeah, objectively, you're way too fucking drunk.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to wake up to that. You know, like, even if that was the thing that was going to happen, no. Then I can't do that. Back to FIFA.
All right. Well, to be clear.
A little bit of a tangent.
To be clear, I'm not saying you should have done it. I understand why you didn't.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like, there's a part of me that's like, that would have been fun. But I'm also like, no, it wouldn't have been.
You gotta pick your battles.
Like, I'd be at fucking Drexel at 8 a.m. in the morning with class the next day.
Like, you had class the next day?
Oh, yeah, we drank a lot on Sundays. It's the Lord's Day.
It's Arceus' day.
Full circle. But yeah, it's a bad time. Sorry. Back to your drunken, not driving experience.
No, that was pretty much it. We got back to the party. We partied even more, drank some more. I made my way home. And then the next day, I probably just played Brawl until I couldn't see anymore. Knowing me.
With a headache constantly.
Just was playing it like I have to play it at Smash Brothers.
Yeah. It's your duty.
It is my duty. Yeah. What would you say is your worst... No. Is your best party-going experience? Oh, this should be this Patreon talk right now.
This is a teaser for the Patreon.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, I'm going to preface this, I think the last question is about Arceus specifically, and we already talked about how we felt, so we're not going to ignore your question, Ryan, but I think that's
we kind of answered it.
We answered it already, so we're just going to do this. I don't know, if I'm being honest. Because here's the...
All right. I'll narrow it down even more.
You can, if you have one, go for it, because I have one.
Your best party-going experience that involved the opposite sex.
Okay.
And just to make you feel better about your FIFA thing, I think I said this on the pod before. I went to a house party before and beat Donkey Kong Country beginning to end. There's party going on around me, and I'm just playing. He had one of the SNES minis, the classic ones, and I just sat there and played that game, and I beat it in under 3 hours.
All right, here we go. Story time with Chris. This is what's going to happen on the Patreon. So if you'd like to get exclusive Patreon podcast, you get to pay $5 a month for the deluxe edition, of the Patreon. So check that out. This is a preemptive little. This is a little freebie for you.
Got it. Yep.
Okay. Cool. All right. So yet again at my buddy Yanni's house. That's the only place we go.
Mm-hmm. There's always a house like that. That was my house when I had my apartment.
Exactly. So I'm only going to use two people's names. The person in question of the opposite sex. I'm not going to use the name, even if they did listen. Don't think they get this far. So we're at Yanni's house, we're drinking it up, and my buddy Evan is there, and we're having a good ass time. Evan's been in the stream a couple times, he's hung out, and I actually have to message him back, because I have not messaged him back in a while, and I've been a very bad friend. Shit.
Life, man.
Life. Yeah. I need to message him. Anyway, I should
Good
call
friends
him
will
back.
understand that.
Yeah, 100%. I hope. But anyway, so we're hanging out, and like, you know, we're playing music that we like compared to all the girls that are there and shit. Like, we're playing Tenacious D, and we're singing along to Kickapoo, like, word for word, me and Evan just, like, screaming at each other the lyrics to it, and, like...
That's what parties are.
We're just having a jolly good time, and then there's, like, this one chick that comes over, can we put, like, Ariana back on? And I'm like, fuck you. Here's Metallica, because you asked.
Here's Metallica, because
this is what you get for being objectively bad, for not liking Tenacious D. So I start getting texts from this girl that I was slightly interested in, pretty much, and she unironically lives very close, and I'm like, oh cool, what's up? And then Evan's pretty much doing the thing that you will end up doing on my Tinder from you, and he's like, yo, text her back now. And I'm like, why man, why? And he's like, do it. And I'm like, fine, texting back, whatever, blah blah blah, things, whatever. And he's like, dude, ask her to go for a walk. And I'm like, I am so drunk. Then
you need a walk.
Well, that's the thing, but I'm also like, I'm so drunk. Walking isn't a great option in the city, because we're right outside Philly.
Got it.
So I'm like, fuck it. He takes my phone, does that, I believe. I don't remember, that's blurry. So we go on a walk, because that's a thing. And the funny thing is, we walk past where, like, the apartment is, and I hear Evan go, like, yeah, Christian! And I'm like, fuck you, dude. Like,
that's what friends are for.
Yeah. Like, fuck you, first of all. Second of all, yes. So we're walking and talking and shit, and we're just, you know, talking about the future and what we want to do and blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to a part where she asked me something about, like, are you going to miss everyone after we graduate? I'm like, yeah, you guys are, like, some of my best friends that I've ever made, like, blah, blah, blah. She's like, is that all I am to you, a friend? And she said that to me, and I'm drunk. So I'm like, yeah, you're like one of my best friends. What do you mean? Because I'm thinking she thinks that I'm not, because in my drunk brain, I'm not even thinking of in the sense of like, hey,
friend,
I like you like
this.
that.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that she thinks that I don't like her as a friend at all, because I'm so drunk at this point. So I'm like, oh, no, like, you're like a really good, no, don't think I hate you. Sorry. Like, I don't like at all. Like, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, that was the end of it. And, like, here's the thing. Objectively, drunk brain fucked me in that situation. But it was a good-ass night. And I will always think to that moment of, like, what if I did say something else? What would have happened? But at the same time...
I got a moment like that in my life where I think back, like, shit, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah. But I'm also, like, at the current point of where I'm at right now, I don't think if I did say the right thing that I would be here still. If that makes sense.
Here still in, what do you mean?
Like, in the current, like, butterfly effect. Like, I don't know if, like...
yeah.
Like, if I'd still be in this podcast. I don't think we'd ever start the podcast. I don't know if
there are moments
I'd
like
be
that.
living at home still. I don't know if I'd be talking to these people anymore at all. Like, I feel like I'd be in a completely different situation.
Same.
Entirely.
I got stuff like that. Yeah.
So, like, that happened. And, like, while it's not the greatest experience, it was also one of the better ones. Because other than that, it was literally just... getting so blitzed that I didn't know what happened the next day because I didn't want to.
Wait, you purposely did that so you wouldn't remember?
It was still in the sad boy stages of that. Okay. So I was like, I just don't want to know that I exist right now. So I would just get to that point.
Okay.
And like, I would be so far gone that it would not be okay. Like ironically, there was one time that I was so fucking drunk that I was like, I'm going to vomit everywhere in this Uber, and it's going to be so bad. And then I didn't. And I was like, holy shit, I made it. And we're parked on the right-hand side of the street, and across the street is my buddy's apartment. And he just goes walking, doesn't even look. And, like, I don't think that I'm Spider-Man at all, but there's those moments in life where, you know, you think, like, am I a superhero? Because this car comes down this road at like 80 miles per hour, and right as he's about to get fucking splattered, like KO,
Yeah.
So whatever the fucking game that you used to play on stream with the car. That situation where the cars like pile up and
Burnout.
shit. Literally Burnout style, like
Yeah.
gone forever. I grab his shirt and just yank him so hard. And he's just like, what the fuck, man? And didn't know what just happened. And it was one of those
You were
moments where I
almost
was
gone.
just like, that's a cool thing to have in my brain that I did. Mm-hmm. I'm Spider-Man. Let me go to bed now and vomit.
Like Spider-Man would
Yeah.
do.
So, yeah. I mean, that's, I guess, the best story. Other than
Word.
that. But yeah, and then FIFA.
Okay.
Yeah.
FIFA, man.
FIFA.
I'm trying to think of which one I want to. And I got to figure out which details I'm going
You
to
got
keep
to
in the
think of
story.
one that's not the best, but it is the best. So then when we make the Patreon podcast, you could tell a better one. Boom.
Listen, man, I'm sitting here in my memory Rolodex like the 20s were my 20s were a time. Not the 20s, like the 1920s. I ain't that
Man,
old.
the 20s, man. Woo! Abolition and that shit. I think that's around that time, right? I don't know history. We know this.
yeah.
When's World War II again?
I don't know. If
How's
there
your
wasn't
World War
an
II doing?
Activision Call of Duty game, I have no idea what we're talking about.
True.
I don't know how deep into this story I can get certain details.
Hey, man.
I don't know if this is like family-friendly podcast. Okay.
Is it a family-friendly podcast?
It's not, but
I was going to say, like...
we don't talk about this on the podcast. All right. There was a night where we all got together at one of my friends' houses. And there was
That's how it
this.
starts.
It always starts like that. And we were all, I think I was like 24, let's say. Partying, having a good time. And this chick I was like kind of trying to get at, but there was also this other chick I was talking to who I was seeing every once in a while. I was trying to like close the deal, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. And I don't mean get into a relationship, if you get what I'm saying.
You wanted to get the transaction and then...
Yeah, I wanted to, you know, file her paperwork. If you get what I
and
mean.
then if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. But
Right.
if not, then
But we
you
both
got
were
what,
flirting with the idea of
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah.
it's been a
it
minute.
wasn't just you. It was a
Right.
very much
It
like
was
a
very
will they, won't they
consensual.
shit.
Very consensual.
Yeah.
I don't want it to come off like I'm trying to get this chick. No.
No.
It's a very consensual thing. We both like gotten right to that point and then not done it and stuff like that. So, but it was also this other girl who I've been trying to get at. Kind of like it was like somebody I was interested in, but she ended up coming over there with one of my other friends who was also a girl. So she comes in with her. I'm like, yo. So I'm kind of like, you know how you find ways to kind of like say little things or in like a corner off to the side, kind of just talking. And my friend's doing the same thing. Like I'm getting texts from like one of my homies. Like I literally got a text from him that said, yo, like all caps. I'm like, fucking, like about to put my phone
does that
away.
mean?
Like putting my phone away because they knew it was up. So I'm talking to her. Long story short, we end up kind of like making
Filing
out.
taxes.
Not yet anyway. But we not that chick.
Getting an estimate on your taxes.
Yeah, we ended up starting the paperwork.
Yeah, getting an estimate.
We're not making out in this party. Let's just fuck it. So we're just, and then it kind of the rapport is good. And she was all like, I want to, but I was like, nah, I can't. I gotta go. So, I ended up leaving later that night.
To play Smash Brothers.
Kinda. So one of those words is correct. So
Brothers.
of course
You talk to Aaron.
Super. I get in the car, and as I'm going home, the other girl texts me, the one that we've been flirting with the idea of filing paperwork, and it's like, I don't know, like it's after midnight. It has to be like 3 or something like that.
That's way too late.
So she's hitting me up. Well, it's because this is like she knew I was out.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and she was at like a club or something. So she was out, and she ended up meeting me back at my apartment. And so it was one of those things like it's finally going to happen. And no one is saying it, but
Yeah.
we know what's happening right now. So one thing led to another. We
Filed
finished the account. closed the folder, filed the paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, once it was a job well done, she left the next morning. And that's one of my greatest outing evenings I've ever had.
Nice.
Needless to say, shortly after, like, that other girl ended up hitting me up. And years later, I filed that paperwork, too.
Jesus Christ. Spoiler alert for the Patreon.
And then, so, everything was consensual. I'm like,
obviously,
I have to keep. We're in an era where you have to do that.
Yes, I get it. I understand, but I'm also in the mindset of like, yes, obviously, like if she came to your place when you weren't even at your place and met you there, I feel you. I feel you. I got you.
So
got you.
That was a great party evening.
There's lots of taxes done that lifetime ago.
Well, one tax was done, another one was like started. The idea of the taxes was started.
Jesus, and then they were eventually done. But yeah, that's what you can get on the Patreon podcast. Maybe a little bit more than that. But yeah, we could do more specifics most likely on the Patreon podcast and actually just dive deep into it. So that's what you're getting into. Plus also game shit too. Like we'll talk about game shit on the Patreon podcast, I feel like too.
Yeah.
Like it's more so like just more and like
it's more, but also like it's going to be
whatever we want.
Way more off the rails than on the rails
100%.
type of show.
You get a sprinkle of off the rails this show. But yeah, so I guess that's all we got for this episode.
Yeah.
Nice story time at the end for you guys, a little bonus bit. If you'd like to hear a extra bonus podcast every single month with stuff like that, you can head on over to our Patreon.
Yeah.
Which is in the description of this video, in the links in all of our bios, or you can just type in your web browser, patreon.com/save the letter B, the number 4 quitting, and you can sign up for one of the 3 tiers that we have there for you guys. The second tier is the one that will get you that extra podcast, and that third tier will actually give you a chance to come on the podcast and talk to us every month, one time.
Yeah.
So go over there, check out what you think's right for you, if you'd like to support, or if you'd like to do the base option, where you're just supporting because you appreciate the podcast every week that we're giving to you for free, technically. It's always going to be free. It never won't be free.
This will never not exist.
Yeah, but if you want extra and you need some more to get you through your work week or just life in general with some random dudes talking about some shit, we got you
covered.
We got you right there.
Look, at this point we got the weekly podcast, the video podcast every Friday, you got the Twitch streams throughout the week.
Yes.
Now the extra podcast, got the gameplay videos coming back.
Hopefully soon. Yeah.
Content on content on content.
Hell yeah. And options to pay for more if you'd like some. And it's not too much either. It's $3, $5, and $10, so nothing crazy. The $3 one is a cup of coffee per month. For one of us, we'll share the cup. The $5 ones, we each can get a cup of coffee. And $10 is maybe we can get a scone. You know?
We'll drink that $3 coffee out of the same cup with 2 straws.
Hell yeah. Honestly, I feel like if that'd be cool as shit, not cool as shit, but it'd be funny if like we did that in the description. It's like, this is pretty much like giving us a singular cup of coffee per month. And it's just like us with like an actual coffee sipping from 2 straws. And then it's another picture of us both drinking a coffee. And then the final one is just like scones or I don't know.
We
like
can eat food with it.
We can get cake pops.
Right.
Look at that. Well, not
We've come a
Starbucks.
long way.
Look at that. But since we're here, let's give a shout out to the people that are subscribed to the Patreon in the first week of it. Give me one moment because this is the first week we've done it. Yeah. So like, it's gonna be a little bit messier, but thank you for subscribing to the Patreon. First on the Patreon was Lucas at the. I gotta remember the tier. Deluxe edition.
He got the deluxe edition.
The deluxe edition tier. We had Frankie over on the collector's edition tier, so we'll be looking forward to hearing from you on the podcast soon. We have Chad Davis CLD with the collector's edition tier well. Then we also had, right after that, we had Jabberaf Anna with the $10 tier, so we'll be hearing from you on the podcast soon after I get done punching the fucking microphone for some reason. And Ryan with the deluxe edition as well. So 5 of you guys just joined up on the podcast at the beginning of this. And we very much appreciate all of you guys for the constant support.
Thank you. Thank you
for
believing in us.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate anyone even who isn't on the Patreon in general and is just listening along the way.
That helps a lot too.
Yeah.
We need you.
Like, comment, and subscribe in the words of Trenton. on the Roblox stream. Hopefully keep an eye out later in the week for maybe a Minecraft Dungeons, or I don't know, whatever you guys are feeling.
Maybe. We'll see.
Little togetherness, some fighting against each other.
Since he can only play on the weekend, it can only ever be on the weekend.
I forgot about that part, yes. So, OG stream this week at some point.
I got to get back to my RPG.
Wednesday, Thursday-ish is normally when you do it?
Yeah. It'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I haven't figured it out yet.
Gotcha. Dope. Friday, as always, from me. And then Sundays, if we have enough time, which we don't, unfortunately, this week. Post-podcast playing every single week. And then a little Saturday stream every once in a while, too. So, hell yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on all social media. Say the letter B, the number 4, quitting on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube for the video version of the podcast.
Titty. That good old titty.
When you're filing your taxes. And reach out to us. Reach out on our Discord, which is in the link in all of our bios. Reach out via our email, savebeforequitting, fully spelled out, @gmail.com. And savebeforequitting.com for all of our merch. The Twitch stream, the Twitter feed, all the above.
Yes, please.
Yes. So thank you guys very much for this first week of the Patreon. We appreciate you very much. Have a good night. Thank you for listening. And remember to always
save before quitting.
See, when we're in person, we can do that a lot better.
Way better.
God damn.
We did it.
Yeah.
We made it through.
I didn't expect to go into that last part with the little teaser.
I figured it was,
Yeah.
Give them something extra.
Well. Yeah. Get a little extra in there, Extra.
Wasn't that a show?
Yeah, Extra on the E! Network.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of drama and shit.
Those shows kind of don't exist anymore because of the internet. Yeah. Social media killed the gossip shows.
True. There was that one show, I think it was Entertainment Weekly or whatever. It was
Entertainment Tonight.
The guy that comes up with the cup and he's like, all right, what do we got? And then there's random people rattling off stories about celebrities and shit. Remember that?
Yeah, I do remember that.
They memed
was that an
about
E!
it.
show too?
It was on E! as well. Yeah. I don't know if it was called E! or whatever. It might have actually been E! I don't know, but it was always stupid. It was like, oh, look at this! What happened? This person's clothes got taken off by a bird. And then they'd all laugh about it, and then be like, "Oh, look how stupid they look with that bird taking off their pants."
Talk Soup or something like that?
No, that was a different thing.
That's a different thing?
Yeah, that was with Joel McHale, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was like Tosh.0, but different.
Yeah. Man, those shows are dead.
I mean, we got a tackle show that, which is pretty much that. Tosh.0 also still goes on.
It does? I thought the show was done.
I don't watch TV, though.
Yeah, me neither, so I don't know what's still going.
Exists, yeah.
Good for
Even
that.
if it doesn't exist, they still play reruns, so he's getting all the royalties. But yeah, things exist. Man, now I'm curious what the first Patreon podcast is gonna be about.
What should we call it?
I don't know. I don't think we came up with a name for it yet.
We'll come up with one.
Yeah, if you guys have any ideas, let us know. But maybe DLC.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
I thought about Extra Life. But then I feel like there's gotta be a show called Extra Life.
I mean, to be fair, it's exclusively on the Patreon. So, even if there is a show that exists, the only place that you're going to see ours is on the Patreon. We're not uploading it to the feed anywhere on YouTube, so
yeah,
there's that. But, yeah, it'll be a time. It's going to be a good-ass time. We'll have to probably next week we'll record it, hopefully, if we can get in early.
That's kind of my plan from here on out.
I might be in a better situation then, too. See, it's the
Coming
post
here with the
podcast.
energy.
Yeah, right. The post podcast is where we can say things because the assholes don't get this far.
True.
Hopefully not. I mean, if they do, then hey, guess what? Fuck you.
We heard that "fuck you" part at the 3-hour mark.
Yeah, but here's the thing: not specific enough to do anything.
Very true.
Never has been.
No.
So that's the glorious part.
Glorious.
But you know who you are. Fuck you, bitch.
There you go. That's how it has to end now.
That part gets cut and it's just me, bitch. That's it.
Okay, I don't know what we're going to call the podcast. Let's do it, bitch.